Chapter 443. Although Xiaohan had never been a good person, but to make him watch the women of his plane being trampled on and not do anything, he still could not do it. Rong's despicable actions aroused Xiaohan's hot-bloodedness. Rong, I will definitely not let this matter rest. Xiaohan walked towards the plaza where Rong was as he spread out his mental fluctuations. Suddenly Xiaohan discovered that about 50,000 meters away from him, a great elder was leading 2 ordinary elders, as well as 5 Yaoxia, currently wandering in the demon palace. That great elder and the 2 ordinary elders were clamoring non-stop, their mental fluctuations sending out messages. Little bastard. Unforgivable little bastard. You're just a lowly thief. When things come to a head, you can only be a turtle hiding in its shell. If you really have the ability, you can come out and fight. Coward. Humph. You should also know that one of the Yaoxia from your plane has already been executed by our Lord Rong. What? Aren't you very arrogant? You're actually doing nothing as you watch the people of your plane being executed right in front of your eyes? Ah. You're just a cowardly rat. Ah. Hypocrite. Hypocrite. Little bastard. 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 The few of them continued to curse and vent their hatred and fear through the most vicious language possible. Damn it. Looking for death. Xiaohan's heart was filled with rage, casually destroying the few exits that he saw, and then quickly walked towards those people. I'll kill you first before talking. However, after walking a few steps, a flash of inspiration suddenly flashed into Xiaohan's mind. A sudden thought came to Xiaohan's mind in an extremely short amount of time. It was brewing and taking shape. Ha! To save the 10 hostages controlled by Rong, why not? I give him a diversion. 50,000 meters away from Xiaohan, a great elder. 2 ordinary elders as well as 5 Yaoxia at the 8th level True Qi realm. They formed a small team, wantonly sending out their mental fluctuations and sound waves along the way, cursing Xiaohan non-stop. He wanted to provoke Xiaohan into going to the square to save the hostages. That way Rong would have the opportunity to blast Xiaohan into pieces. Grand Elder, please speak. If we challenge him like this, will that little bastard show himself? An elder asked apprehensively. Now, what I'm afraid of is that little bastard being stubborn. Instead, they're playing tricks in the dark and continue to destroy those exits. Humph. The great elder's face darkened. No matter what, this is our last chance of survival. If that little bastard refuses to take the bait, then, we can only wait for death in this demon palace. The 5 chivalrous swordsmen trembled in fear. They all wailed at the same time. Elders, the hallucinatory demonic realm in this demon palace is becoming more and more vicious. If this continues, the density and danger will increase by 10 times every day. I'm afraid we won't be able to live past tomorrow. But, we're about to die. How tragic. We set off from our hometown with ambition, wanting to go to the genius zone to display our potential and glory, and get a share of immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasures. We never thought that we would die here. I don't want to die. We don't want to die. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Elders, we really don't want to die. Why is it like this? Fate is unfair. In the end, these 5 Yaoxia were like children, wailing and unable to control themselves. Our real age hasn't even reached 10,000 years old. Our future is bright. We can still live for an endless amount of time and enjoy endless glory and wealth. Woo 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 woo. Why do we have to die? It's so bitter. I regret going to the genius zone. I regret it. If I stayed in my hometown, everything would be fine and I could live freely in the mortal world. Why did I come here to die? Shut up. So noisy. Who wants to die? You don't want to die, but I do. The first elder was enraged. When he saw the 5 fiend heroes wailing endlessly, he was infuriated. With a flick of his sleeve, he sent the 5 fiend heroes flying. The 5 chivalrous warriors all vomited blood and fell to the ground, screaming in pain. So annoying. The great elder cursed. All of you used to be the most outstanding geniuses in your hometown. You're unruly and domineering. But now, in such a critical moment, you're making a fool of yourselves. You don't even have the slightest bit of backbone. What's the use of you? Trash. Now, I've seen the faces of you idiots. All of you are trash. You can't achieve anything. Even if you don't die now, you'll still be the target of the people from the other planes when you go to the genius zone. You might as well die now. Let's go. We don't need to care about these trash anymore. The great elder shouted to the 2 ordinary elders. This great elder, I'm afraid it's not appropriate to leave these Yaoxia here. If they encounter that little bastard, they'll die instantly. The 2 ordinary elders pleaded. Ah. Suddenly, the great elder let out a maniacal laugh. It was hysterical and morbid. That, after today they'll die. If they can't catch that little bastard, they'll die too. Not only will they die, but we will also die. Life and death are not that important now, do you know? Ah. Let's go. Let's continue to move forward, spread the news, shout, and gamble on our luck. Ah. Die. The great elder was a little disheartened. He walked forward without looking back. The two ordinary elders looked at each other and sighed. They followed the great elder with their heads down. The three of them gradually walked further and further away. Their backs were very lonely, very helpless, and also very unwilling. The 5 Yaoxia who were lying on the ground coughed blood and howled, no longer getting up. Die. In the end, we can't escape death. Don't waste your efforts. All of you die. We'll all be buried here. Lord Rome will also die here. Many elders will also die here. Ah. It's over. Our plane is really finished. How regretful, how regretful. If only, when we encountered that trash plane, we could get along with them calmly, not be so overbearing, not be their enemy, and even befriend them. I'm afraid we wouldn't have to suffer this misfortune. How regretful. Forget it, forget it. There's no point in talking anymore. Let's just die here quietly. At this moment, Xiaohan was quickly approaching. His mind was constantly calculating. 1 great elder, 2 ordinary elders, 5 Yaoxia who are at the 8th level of true qi. If I can temporarily distract the 3 elders, or if I can forcefully kill the 3 elders, then the 5 Yaoxia will all be purified. If I can purify them all, then my plan might succeed. Let's do it. After killing the 3 elders, I have now completed 18 spirit finger incantations. Compared to yesterday, my spirit power is like a different person. Triggering the tide of the hallucinatory demonic realm and compressing the hallucinatory demonic realm is a step further. Yesterday I spent a few hours to refine a great elder to death. But today I'm afraid I can refine a great elder and 2 ordinary elders to death together. So, Xiaohan's plan was to purify the 5 Yaoxia who are at the 8th level of true qi and then use them to go to the square and distract Rome. Luring the tiger away from the mountain, instantly rescuing the 10 Yaoxia companions who were kneeling in the square. Xiaohan's mind was constantly calculating, gradually perfecting his plan. To extract the hallucinatory demonic realm from the air and attack those elders, with my current spirit power, I can do it within a range of about 3,000 to 4,000 meters. At this moment, Xiaohan scanned with his spirit power and discovered that the great elder and the 2 ordinary elders had separated from the 5 Yaoxia who were at the 8th level of true qi. These guys seem to be fighting amongst themselves. In the next moment, Xiaohan's expression was filled with surprise. That's great. 4 hours later, that woman will be ravaged to death. I must achieve my plan within 4 hours. If I were to refine those 3 elders to death, I'm afraid it would take a lot of time. Now, those 3 elders have actually separated from the 5 Yaoxia. This is a godsend opportunity. Ha ha ha. With this thought, Xiaohan ran madly and made a big detour, avoiding the great elder and the 2 ordinary elders, and approached the back of the 5 Yaoxia. After half an hour, Xiaohan finally sneaked up to the back of the 5 chivalrous men without anyone noticing. At this moment, the 5 Yaoxia were all lying on the ground with blood flowing from the corners of their mouths. Their eyes were extremely dull as they looked at the sky foolishly. One by one they actually began to talk nonsense. So beautiful. The sunset. Brothers, the sunset has appeared in the sky. Extremely gorgeous. Ah. There's a fairy. There's a fairy riding a crane. Descending to the mortal world. Ah. Secret manuals. A mountain of godly secret manuals. There's no lack of celestial techniques. That's great. We brothers actually found the cave abode left by an immortal. Ah. The rise of us brothers is simply arranged by the heavens. It's unstoppable. Xiaohan was about 1,000 meters away from the 5 people and slowly approached them. He spread out his mental strength and scanned the 5 Yaoxia. These fellows have already started to be bewitched. Their mental energy has already been broken by the hallucinatory magic mirror. Even if I don't deal with them now, in another 1 to 4 hours, they will completely lose their rationality and self-detonate. If that's the case, it'll be even easier for me to reform them. They're already half-crippled. When I reform them, their minds won't resist at all. Instead, they'll completely open up their minds. Ah, the heavens are on my side. Let's begin. Xiaohan sat cross-legged. The mental strength star in his sea of consciousness surged and surged. Thousands of strands of mental strength came out of the shell. Suddenly, Xiaohan pinched his hands and made a hand seal in his dantian. His entire body emitted an ancient Buddha's light. At the same time, Xiao Han's face also became compassionate, as if he was going to deliver all living beings from suffering. Xiao, 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 5 incomparably thick mental strength, like 5 flood dragons directly rushed out of Xiao Han's sea of consciousness and shrouded the 5 Yao Xia. Boom, 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 in an instant the 5 mental strength flood dragons blasted into the 5 Yao Xia sea of consciousness at the same time. Ah! Suddenly the 5 Yao Xia burst out screaming like pigs being slaughtered. They rolled on the ground, wailed and drilled holes. Xiao Han's solemn face was motionless. His mental strength was breaking through the 5 Yao Xia's soul defense inch by inch, erasing their ego and planting their faith. It's even easier than purifying Yen Lang. These 5 people have already been possessed. Their souls are almost defenseless, as if they exist in name only. Suddenly Xiao Han's spirit was greatly lifted. His hands formed a series of hand seals, and his mouth let out the sound of the great Tao. I have successfully branded my aura in the souls of the 5 of you. Now you can't betray me for the rest of your lives. You must be willing to be my slaves and puppets. Even if I ask you to commit suicide immediately, you must not hesitate. At this moment, suddenly the 5 Yao Xia stood up at the same time and immediately knelt down in front of Xiao Han. They worshipped sincerely, kowtowing like pounding garlic. Their eyes flashed with crazy faith and blind worship, and they kept saying, "Thank you, Master, for helping us resolve our evil fate. At this moment our mood has never been so calm. Everything that happened in the past is a sin. Now only by serving under Master with peace of mind and bravely striving to be the first can we reduce the guilt on our conscience. In the whole world, apart from Master, everything else is a fleeting cloud, everything is an illusion. Only Master is real, he is the king. Long live Master, long live Master. Long live Master." Chapter 444. Xiao Han successfully converted the 5 Yao heroes from the Rong plane into his slaves. These 5 Yao heroes were all at the 8th level formation realm. Xiao Han had now completed the 18th set of spirit finger incantation and fulfilled the conditions to convert most of the 8th level formation realm. Of course, it was also because these 5 Yao heroes had already been possessed by the devil beforehand. Their minds and souls had already collapsed and their soul defense was useless. That was why Xiao Han could convert them without any effort. "Come here quickly." Xiao Han smiled in satisfaction. He sent a soul message to the 5 slaves, ordering them to move. Just like how he had enlightened Yen Lang, Xiao Han's soul now naturally formed a mysterious connection with the 5 evil heroes. The 6 of them had formed a contract relationship. And it was obvious that this was not an equal contract. It was a master-servant contract. Not long after, "Greetings, Master." The 5 Yao heroes had already come to Xiao Han's side. Judging from his appearance, all of their faces were almost flattering. Between their eyebrows, all of them were sincere worship towards Xiao Han. What made Xiao Han feel very interesting and fresh was that when he looked at these 5 Yao heroes, he even had an illusion. It was as if he was looking at 5 hunting dogs that he had raised. 5 loyal dogs. Or 5 squirrels, 5 tabby cats that knew how to wag their tails and beg for pity in front of their master. What was even more unbelievable was that Xiao Han had planted his own imprint in the souls of these 5 Yao heroes. With just a thought, he could erase the divine souls of these 5 Yao heroes. And converting 8th-level true Qi is not a problem. However, if I can solidify my mental strength, then I can directly convert 9th-level true Qi. That is truly invincible. Xiao Han smiled faintly. "Master, what orders do you have?" The 5 Yao hero slaves asked in an extremely attentive tone. Xiao Han's spirit wave swept through the current situation of the entire illusory devil palace. Then he licked his lips. "There are still about 2 hours left before Rong gives the order to kill that woman. In these 2 hours I have to carefully think and plan. This will make this operation flawless." To the current Xiao Han, Rong was still a giant and invincible character. Xiao Han's actions could not be said to be without risk, and the slightest mistake could cause the entire game to be lost. Thus, before they took action they had to make sure everything was in place. "Master, what's the plan?" The 5 demons asked one after another. Suddenly Xiao Han squatted down, and a strand of saber intent gathered on his right fingertip. The next moment, Xiao Han moved his fingers as if they were flying. The ground was sliced open by the invisible saber intent like tofu, leaving the ground in disarray. Soon Xiao Han used his saber intent to carve out a map. "The 5 of you listen up." Xiao Han pointed at the map. 5 devil hero slaves. He immediately squatted down and focused his attention on the map that Xiaohan had drawn. About 50,000 meters away from here, there's a square. The leader of your dimension, Rong, has captured 10 of my fellow countrymen as hostages to lure me into the trap. Xiaohan began to explain with rapt attention. Rong, this bastard, he actually dared to conspire against Master. What a heinous crime. Once they heard Xiaohan's words, these few slaves growled indignantly. In the voice there was a deep resentment. They condemned Rong in both words and in writing, as if all of them could not wait to rush up and fight with Rong. Protecting the Master. This was the slave protecting the Master. In the past, Rong was the leader of the dimension that these 5 demons were in. Thus, when these demons faced Rong, they were all respectful and respectful. All of them were extremely respectful, afraid that they would make a mistake. But now the situation was completely different. They had become Xiaohan's loyal servants, and all of them treated Xiaohan as their master. If anyone tried to make things difficult for their master, they would risk their lives to protect their master's dignity. Even if it was Rong, as long as he was Xiaohan's enemy, he was no exception. Yes, Master, Rong has indeed deliberately designed such a trap. He wants to use the hostages to lure Master into the trap. Master, you must not be fooled. This fellow Rong is cruel and unscrupulous. As a supreme martial artist who has opened the heaven's eye, he actually disregarded his identity and kidnapped some 7th and 8th level true Qi weaklings. His behavior is indeed despicable and despicable. We are all ashamed to be associated with Rong. Alright, don't be long-winded. Listen to my orders. Xiaohan impatiently glanced at the 5 chattering demons, causing them to immediately keep quiet out of fear. Listen, later we will directly approach the square. First, you will lead Rong away. Xiaohan said with a burning gaze. Master is really wise. This is a trick to lure the tiger away from the mountain. The 5 demons all flattered. But Master, how can we trick Rong into leaving? This is very simple. Xiaohan's eyeballs rolled a few times. You just say that the elder level accompanying you has discovered my whereabouts and is currently confronting me. Both sides are fighting and are in a stalemate. I have no time to care about you, allowing you to escape. Now you will risk your lives to rush back to the square and report to Rong. Xiaohan's voice was extremely certain. This plan, if carried out by you, is almost foolproof. First of all, you came with Rong, so there's no problem with your loyalty. Otherwise, Rong wouldn't have brought you to the genius zone. Second, you and I belong to different planes and I've killed quite a few of your people, so we're mortal enemies. There's no way Rong would suspect you. Logically speaking, you would rather die than join forces with a mortal enemy like me to deceive your leader Rong. Third, Rong has no way out. Humph. In this hallucinatory demon palace, I have destroyed many of the exits and Rong will never be able to catch me. As time passed, Rong is getting more and more desperate. Rong is absolutely clear that even if I hide, bear with it, and only destroy the exits without meeting Rong, he will definitely die. Your plane will be completely annihilated. Therefore, in a desperate situation, as long as there is a slight possibility, a slim chance of survival, Rong will definitely not miss it. As long as you go back and report, he will definitely leave the square and follow you to come and kill me. The 5 demons looked at each other and then nodded in agreement. Yes, Master, this plan is flawless. Rong will never think that we will betray him. This person is very conceited and insufferably arrogant. Under his rule, there are few traitors in the history of the entire demon's world. Master, after we lead Rong away, where are we going to lead him to? A demon slave asked. All of a sudden Xiaohan smiled. Follow me. With that, Xiaohan led the way, walking briskly towards the direction of the plaza. The 5 demon slaves followed closely behind in confusion. After walking for a while, Xiaohan turned left and right, like an old horse that knew the way, and brought the 5 demon slaves to a secluded courtyard. Impressively, in the courtyard, on a wall, he actually dared to have 6 exits appear. Exit. Master, you actually found the exit so easily. We haven't searched this area yet. I didn't expect to be found by Master at once. The 5 demon slaves. Their eyes were full of excitement. Exit. This was the first time they saw an exit that was intact and stable with the power of teleportation. There is a long distance between here and the square where Rong is. You lead Rong here and then you leave directly through the exit. Xiaohan smiled. If you don't teleport out and Rong finds out that my trick of luring the tiger away from the mountain is successful, he will instantly know that you are spies. He can blast you into pieces with just a thought. As for me, I am very kind. Although you are just my slaves, I will not watch you die in vain. Of course, these exits. I need to disguise myself. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Han released his spirit power violently and destroyed one of the 6 exits on the wall, leaving 5. The next moment, Xiao Han suddenly focused all his attention. Boom, boom, boom. Xiao Han led the hallucinatory enchantment in a large area, and then used his spirit fluctuations to deploy these hallucinatory enchantment at will. Something strange happened. The outside of the 5 exits were blocked by the hallucinatory enchantment, so that the stable power of teleportation that diffused from the exits was blocked. Master, you've destroyed all 6 exits? The 5 evil hero slaves were all frightened. Only one was destroyed and the remaining 5 were hidden by me. Xiao Han immediately gave instructions to the 5 evil hero slaves. Listen, remember the location of these 5 exits firmly in your mind. On the surface of the exits, I set up layers of hallucinatory enchantment to block people's sight, but as long as you remember the location and pass through these hallucinatory enchantment, you can teleport out. After you bring Rong here, Rong Xian will be in a hurry to kill me, so he will definitely not sense these exits. At that time you can directly use the exits to escape. Each exit can only be used once. After the teleportation is completed, it will disappear. At that time, with Rong's magical powers, he will not be able to do anything to you. Yes. Thank you for your understanding, Master. Master's plan is almost perfect. Not only can you successfully rescue the hostages, but you can also save our lives. Master is really wise and omnipotent. Don't talk nonsense. Xiao Han laughed and scolded. Well, let's start. You are all injured now and your faces are covered with blood, so you can win Rong's trust more. If nothing goes wrong, we will meet again outside this hallucinatory enchantment palace. We will talk then. Yes, Master. Let's go deceive Rong now, and ask Master to teleport out as soon as possible and meet us. The 5 evil hero slaves, after spending a little time memorizing the location of the 5 exits, ran wildly toward the square. Xiao Han also urged his leg strength and ran with all his might. Xiao Han did not run straight in the direction of the square. Instead, he made a big circle and arrived tens of thousands of meters behind the square. In a relatively hidden position, there were exactly 10 exits that were difficult for ordinary people to detect. Everything is under my control. When Rong is successfully lured out of the square, I will rescue the 10 companions in the square, then bring them here, let them pass through the exit and teleport out. While thinking, Xiao Han cast his eyes on the square and quickly sorted out every step of the plan in his mind. After confirming that there would be no major mistakes, Xiao Han slowly approached the square. At the same time, he released his psychic fluctuations and paid close attention to the situation in the square. Chapter 445. In the square. The atmosphere was oppressive and hazy. The 10 heroes of Xiao Han's plane were all kneeling in the middle of the square, their bodies shivering. The expressions on the faces of these heroes were different. Some of them were unafraid of death. Some of them were fearful, panicked, and desperate. Some of them had their hands clasped together as if they were praying devoutly. Among them, there was a beautiful woman with a curvaceous body. Her face was pale, her teeth were chattering, and her hands were tightly protecting the 2 plump lumps in front of her chest. Around the square, there were hundreds of heroes of Rong's plane. Most of their expressions were ferocious and evil, appearing extremely sinister. Looking at the 10 heroes of Xiao Han's plane kneeling in the square, they were all bursting with murderous aura. Rong stood outside the square with his hands behind his back. His eyes were very lonely and depressed. There was a kind of sadness and strong unwillingness of a hero at the end of his road. I can't believe this. I am an invincible genius with a half-immortal body. I can't believe this. Rong smiled bitterly. His mouth was full of bitterness. Back in the day when I was still a young man, my luck was like a rainbow, and I never had a bottleneck in my cultivation of true energy. Until now, I've always been very prosperous. Could it be that my luck took a sudden turn for the worse and I ended up in such a state? He. A few of the 10 heroes of Xiao Han's plane who were kneeling in the square were also whispering to each other. They also had the determination to die. They knew that it was difficult to escape this time, so it didn't matter. They talked casually and no longer cared about Rong and the enemy heroes around the square. Sigh. We are also going to die. Every 4 hours one of us will die. In the end we still can't reach the genius plane. Everyone, let's meet again on the road to hell. I don't know if Xiao Han will come to save us. But forget it, it should be impossible. Xiao Han has no reason to walk into the trap. Forget it, don't count on Xiao Han anymore. We have no friendship with him. If it was us, we wouldn't be willing to take the risk to save some people who are not even acquaintances. Lord Rong, for hours are almost up. That little bastard still hasn't shown himself. On the Rong plain, a demon hero walked to Rong's side with a bleak expression and said in a low voice, Lord Rong, I'm afraid that little bastard doesn't dare to show himself. This coward. He would rather watch his companions die. They didn't even show themselves. He's just a turtle hiding in its shell. Shut up, Rong glowered at the evil hero. The only chance of survival. I will never give up so easily. Suddenly Rong Ba raised his voice. 4 hours are almost up, get ready. Approximately. We're all going to die in this illusory demon palace. In the last moments of our lives, you guys should properly enjoy the taste of love between a man and a woman. Go. Take turns to ravage this bitch. Suddenly Rong's voice became hoarse and perverted. His eyes were filled with viciousness and savagery. He was completely sick and hysterical. She pointed at the woman on Xiao Han's side and said, Little bitch. You should properly taste the taste of a man on this powerful plane. Don't blame us. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame that little bastard called Xiao Han. Leaving her to die. You go first. Rong pointed at a man who was nearly 3 meters tall and whose arms were thicker than most people's thighs. Don't show mercy to the fairer sex. Yes, Lord Rong. That huge man extended his hand to untie his belt. No. You guys kill me. You bastards. You bastards who are worse than pigs and dogs. That woman let out a heart-wrenching and lung-splitting scream. Bastard. If you want to kill, then kill. To actually do such a heartless thing, how are you any different from the demon race? Bastards. Bastards in human skin. A few of the evil heroes on Xiao Han's plane cursed loudly. Their eyes were about to split open and blood spurted out from their eyes. 4 hours are up. Begin. Rong Ba said indifferently. That huge man had already taken off his pants, revealing his disgusting thing. He laughed sinisterly and walked step by step towards that woman. Just at this time, Rong, the 5 evil heroes who had been enlightened by Xiao Han rushed into the plaza at this moment. Their expressions were very complicated. Embarrassing. Ecstasy. Shock. Hope. They vividly portrayed the feeling of grasping at straws of life. Coupled with the blood stains and swollen bruises on their faces, it looked extremely strange. What's going on? What's going on with you guys? Rong Ba was shocked by the situation of these 5 people. The evil heroes around the plaza also cast curious gazes over. The huge man who had taken off his pants also stopped what he was doing and looked over suspiciously. Lord Rong. That little bastard. He was discovered by the Great Elder. He was discovered by the Great Elder. The 5 people barked at the top of their lungs and jumped up and down. What? Rong Ba's eyes widened and his body violently twitched. Boom! Rong Ba grabbed the air and directly grabbed one of the 5 people over. He said with a stern expression. What exactly happened? Lord Rong. The chance to survive is here. Just now, the 5 of us, together with the Grand Elder and 3 other elders, went around to inform that little bastard that his companion was in our hands. However, unexpectedly, the Grand Elder activated his Heaven's Eye, and actually locked onto that little bastard's location. Then the Great Elder and the 3 elders joined hands to kill that kid. That kid was indeed abnormal. He was actually able to fight against the Great Elder and the 3 elders head-on. His attack method was very strange. He activated the hallucinatory demonic mirror and launched a mental attack on the elders. However, the Great Elder and the 3 elders were also not easy to deal with. Both sides fought against each other in terms of mental power and showed a state of stalemate. Under the cover of the elders, we risked our lives to rush out and immediately return to inform Lord Rong of this news. Roar? Hearing this, Rong Ba roared towards the sky. His voice was like the roar of a wild beast. Found it. Finally found it. Ah. With the strength of one person he fought against 4 elders on our side. This was simply rampant, overestimating himself. But the heavens do not want our plane to perish. For a moment, the hundreds of evil heroes around the plaza all cried tears of joy, all barking crazily. Caught it. Finally caught it. Lord Rong, there's no time to lose. Please quickly follow us to go and kill that little bastard. The Great Elder warned repeatedly. He burned the energy of his heavenly eye and immortal body to entangle that little bastard. It was a moment too late. I'm afraid that little bastard will escape. One of the 5 evil heroes said while weeping bitterly. Go. Bring this seat over. Rong waved his hand, his whole body seething with fighting spirit. This time, this seed is going to capture that little bastard, skin him alive and swallow his heart and liver raw. Lord Rong, let's go together too. The evil heroes near the plaza were in high spirits, requesting to go to battle one after another. I'll stay here. Rong Ba berated. Keep an eye on these bastards. Wait for this seat to capture that little bastard and bring him back. Execute them together. Yes. Very quickly. Those 5 evil heroes brought Rong Ba and sprinted away from the plaza, kicking up a cloud of dust. Ha ha ha, finally caught that damn bastard, we're saved. We've survived a calamity. Ah, this time. It's really a brush with the god of death. There are still more than 200 exits left, all of our remaining people can be teleported out. That's great. We're saved. We're all saved. I had a premonition that we're not fated to die. Ah, what kind of noble people are we? It's impossible for us to fall in this corner. Ah. This time's strange danger is really a perfect tempering for our willpower. For our future cultivation of true chi, the accumulation is also quite considerable. Haha, awesome. Really awesome. It's as if I'd been reborn. Ah. The hundreds of evil heroes near the plaza were all overjoyed. Jubilant. And Xiao Han's 10 companions who were kneeling in the plaza, were all in great despair. Xiao Han was still caught in the end. Unfortunately. He still can't fight against the people of this plane. Xiao Han will be tortured to death by them and we won't be able to live either. When these people are teleported out, they will definitely cut all of us into pieces. Our plane is finished, at this moment. Haha, everyone, it looks like you're very happy. Ha ha ha. A lazy voice full of ridicule sounded from behind the plaza. Xiao Han walked over leisurely, narrowed his eyes and looked around the plaza, at the hundreds of evil heroes who were full of interest. That little bastard? For a moment, all the evil heroes of Rong Ba's plane had their smiles frozen on their faces. It was very funny, as if each of them was wearing a clumsy mask. Xiao Han. And the 10 evil heroes of Xiao Han's plane all stared at Xiao Han in disbelief. Why are you here? Ha. I'm here to save you. That's right, I used a little trick to lure the tiger away from the mountain. Ah. It's really perfect. Xiao Han laughed in a relaxed manner. Using hostages as a hostage is an extremely despicable move. However, it really stumped me. However, heaven helps the worthy. Even if you came up with such a despicable move, in the end it was still resolved by me. Ah. This is called evil never triumphing over good. Luring the tiger away from the mountain? The evil heroes of Rong Ba's plane slightly understood. The next moment, not good. We've been tricked. Lord Rong has been tricked. We've all been tricked. Several evil heroes of Rong Ba's plane all screamed. All right, all of you go die. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Han's spirit wave wrapped, and the hallucinatory demonic realm within a radius of a few thousand meters directly solidified and attacked. Bang, 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 bang. Under Xiao Han's control, the hallucinatory demonic realm all seeped into the brains of these evil heroes, causing them to almost instantly become possessed, exploding their own heads and dying. The entire plaza was left with layers upon layers of dismembered corpses. It was truly a mountain of corpses and a sea of bones. Perfect. Xiao Han couldn't help but snap his fingers. As for his 10 companions, they were completely dumbfounded. All right, don't waste any more time. Let's go, I'll escort you out of this hallucinatory demonic realm. Xiao Han coldly shouted, all of you follow me, quickly. The 10 evil heroes didn't dare to be negligent. They immediately crawled up and followed Xiao Han, quickly leaving the plaza. Woo woo, woo woo woo. The female evil hero, who was about to be ravaged in turn, was rescued by Xiao Han. She couldn't help but sob. Xiao Han laughed softly. All right, it's all in the past. I'll bring you out. The beautiful woman moaned and cast an extremely complicated glance at Xiao Han. She whispered in an inaudible voice. Chapter 446. With the help and cooperation of the 5 evil hero slaves, Xiao Han's plan of luring the tiger away from the mountain was executed perfectly. In the square, the 10 evil heroes from Xiao Han's plane were rescued and then followed Xiao Han without stopping. Hurry up. Xiao Han walked at the front, his spirit wave spread out and locked onto the 10 exits tens of thousands of meters in front of him. Don't let your guard down for now, we must immediately teleport out. If we wait until Rong sees through my plan and chases after us, and I can escape at any time, but you guys can only die. Yes, Xiaohan, before we completely leave this devil palace, we can't rest easy. Let's go, everyone quickly follow Xiaohan, don't fall behind. A true Qi realm evil hero shouted with a face full of excitement. Therefore Xiaohan brought his 10 companions and walked towards the exit, towards hope. Xiaohan's 5 evil hero slaves led the way in front. They were all born actors and their acting was vivid and lifelike. Their faces were dyed with anxiety, excitement, joy. There were many different expressions. Rong Yi grimaced in pain as he followed behind. In his mind, he was already thinking about what kind of punishment he should use to deal with Xiaohan after he captured him. We've already walked for tens of thousands of meters. Where are the elders and that kid? Rong blurted out. Lord Rong, we are as anxious as you. We want to capture that little bastard and cut him into pieces to vent our hatred. The 5 evil heroes said in unison. But, Lord Rong, there is still some distance between the elders and that little bastard. Rong nodded. I hope the elders can keep that little bastard occupied. Cut him into pieces? That would be letting him off easy. He paused for a moment. Rong waved his hand. All right. I won't rush you anymore lest I affect you and make you lead the wrong way. Just lead the way with peace of mind. It was impossible for Rong to suspect these 5 evil heroes. Rong knew these 5 people very well. They were the genius evil heroes from his plane, and they had all received Rong's kindness. Moreover, the people that Rong selected to go to the genius zone had all passed a strict selection. All of them had gone through a strict selection process, so there was absolutely no problem with their loyalty. In Rong's view, even if these 5 people were torn to shreds, they absolutely would not betray him. There was no way he would betray the entire plane. The 5 fiendish heroes walked quickly in front of them, communicating quickly with each other out of the corner of their eyes. Their eyes were also faintly discernible. There was a hint of teasing in his eyes. After traveling for another tens of thousands of meters. Impressively, it was an elegant courtyard. It appeared in front of them. The 5 fiendish heroes rushed into the courtyard at almost the same time. Rong was slightly taken aback. He scanned the area with his consciousness and then said unhappily, "There's nothing strange about this courtyard. Why did you guys go in?" After a long journey, Xiaohan finally brought his 10 companions to the courtyard with 10 exits. The 10 exits were like 10 golden gates, shining with precious light. The power of spatial transportation was stable and miraculous. This is the exit? The 10 fiendish heroes all stared at the 10 exits in a daze. One of the fiendish heroes had his eyes and tongue cruelly gouged out by Rong. His condition was horrible, but at this moment he could not hide his excitement. Exit? I also felt the power of spatial transportation. It's really an exit. Great. I didn't expect that we could still leave this demon palace alive. Everything it's like a dream. As he spoke, he was also filled with emotions and his body trembled. That's right, these 10 fiendish heroes were very unlucky. They had searched in the demon palace for a few days, but they still could not find the exit. Seeing that the hallucinatory demonic realm was getting more and more dangerous by the day, they could not even protect themselves. If they were slightly careless, they would be possessed by demons. The hope of finding the exit was getting slimmer and slimmer. Then they were actually caught by Rong again and their lives were in danger. Almost all of them fell into a state of extreme despair. And at this moment Xiaohan was like a god descending to the mortal world. He saved them from Rong and helped them find the exit. His kindness was equivalent to giving them a new lease on life. Xiaohan. Thank you. Suddenly, a fiendish hero directly knelt down in front of Xiaohan. Xiaohan was taken aback by the situation. The next moment, in front of Xiaohan they all knelt down. The 10 fiendish heroes all knelt down. Xiaohan. It's hard to repay this kindness. From now on, our lives are all yours. The 10 fiendish heroes choked with sobs and said, "Forget it, these people are also deeply grateful to me. At least I did not save them in vain." Xiaohan also felt a little emotional, nodded slightly and then said in a clear voice, "Stop being so wishy-washy. Don't be coy. We fiendish heroes do not care about trifles. One by one quickly teleport out. Quickly leave. Delay lest something unexpected happens." Yes. The 10 fiendish heroes all stood up. Xiaohan, do you still want to continue staying in this illusory devil palace? The enchanting woman asked with a little worry. Xiaohan, you have already driven Narong crazy. Right now he has lost his mind and is going against the rules. His behavior is like that of a wild beast and he can do anything. This time, your plan of luring the tiger away from the mountain is like pouring salt on his wound. He will completely go crazy. If you continue to stay in this devil palace, there will be hidden dangers. Xiaohan, why don't you quickly find the exit and teleport out? Yes, Xiaohan, I heard from Na Rong and the others that not only can you easily find the exit, you can also destroy the exit. Many of the exits in this devil palace have already been destroyed by you. The reason you are staying in this devil palace is most likely to kill Na Rong and the others and get rid of the disaster forever. If that's the case, why don't you destroy all the remaining exits and leave only one for yourself? After that, you teleport out and trap Na Rong and the others in this illusory devil palace. Another fiendish hero earnestly advised. Yes, Xiaohan, if you want to kill Na Rong and the others, you can do it without a drop of blood on your blade. There is no need to put yourself in danger. Xiaohan, your meridians have expanded by several thousand times and you are the fiendish hero with the most potential in our plane. Moreover, this illusory devil palace battle. With your own strength, you killed so many fiendish heroes and that plane trembled in fear. Xiaohan, you will definitely become an existence that becomes an immortal in the future. Porcelain does not compete with tiles. There is no need for you to continue being entangled with Na Rong. Destroy all the exits and teleport out. We do not wish for anything to happen to you. In the future you will be our leader. One of the fiendish heroes said with certainty. Ha ha ha. Xiaohan laughed loudly and then slightly narrowed his eyes. I naturally understand your good intentions. All right. All of you do not need to worry about me. You can teleport out now. I know what I am doing. I must kill Na Rong and the other great elders with my own hands. They are all precious accumulations for me to break through to the talisman transformation realm. Xiaohan said with an almost inaudible voice. When I was in the expanded meridian realm, my performance was too outstanding. This caused my talisman transformation realm to be 100 times, 1,000 times more difficult than an ordinary martial artist. If I do not kill a few existences like Na Rong, it will be difficult for me to break through. Na Rong, I will personally slaughter them for my future talisman transformation realm. It will be the most perfect foundation. This ambition. The 10 fiendish heroes were all stunned. Then, under Xiaohan's urging, the 10 fiendish heroes entered the exit one by one and teleported away. Very quickly, the 10 exits were destroyed. Phew, helping the Buddha to the end, they are finally safe. Xiaohan took a deep breath and then, a bright light flashed in his eyes. Now all the fiendish heroes in our plane, other than me, have already teleported out. In the huge illusory devil palace, there are only me and the 10 supreme experts of Na Rong's plane left. The time to fight to the death has finally arrived. Na Rong, that despicable villain, will no longer be able to capture hostages to threaten me. Now I can let go of my hands and feet and fight to the death with them. Xiaohan shot out his spiritual wave, covering a range of 1.5 million meters. Ha ha ha, my 5 slaves have already successfully entered the exit that I disguised and escaped. Ah. Rong, who was like a wooden stake, was left standing there in a daze. Ah. He has been tricked so badly this time, I'm afraid he is going to vomit a mouthful of blood. Ah. Alright, I won't waste any more time. I will find a secluded place and attempt to break through to the 19th spiritual finger art. With a thought, Xiaohan formed a finger art with both of his hands and the illusory devil realm within a radius of a few thousand meters was forcefully pulled into his sea of consciousness. The extremely dense spiritual power star rumbled and refined, emitting the sound of metal clashing. It was like a glutton eating delicious food, refining and absorbing the illusory devil realm cleanly. Ha ha, Rong, this idiot. After images flashed and Xiaohan jumped a few times, leaving behind a series of joyful laughter. What the hell are the 5 of you doing? Rong was a little angry and directly scolded while gnashing his teeth. Damn it. What are you dilly-dallying here for? Why aren't you quickly bringing me to capture that? Disappeared? Suddenly, the aura of Xiaohan's 5 slaves actually disappeared in Rong's spiritual wave. The next moment, not good. Rong shouted and then directly waved his hand. True Qi wave and strands of immortal Qi shot out like an evil dragon, breaking open the courtyard formed by the illusory devil realm. In the courtyard, the 5 spatial teleportation doors were closing. Ah, the power of spatial teleportation? Exit? Rong was dumbfounded. What's going on? What exactly is going on? Ha, Rong, you idiot, you've been tricked. Ha, you've been tricked by our master. Ah, idiot. Before the 5 spatial portals disappeared, 5 mocking voices could be heard. Roar. Tricked? Master. Rong's heart was filled with anxiety and anger. He seemed to have understood something. He stretched out his hand and directly destroyed a large piece of space. All kinds of illusions exploded. However, the 5 spatial doors completely closed, causing Rong to not be able to grab a single strand. Roar, it's the 5 hidden exits. Those 5 bastards actually betrayed me. Betrayed the entire plane. Unforgivable. 5 exits appeared right under my eyelids and I actually didn't discover them. They even calmly escaped in front of me. Humiliation. Extraordinary humiliation. Master? Who's their master? Xiao Han. You little bastard. I've been tricked by you. Rong was so angry that his whole body twitched. Shockingly, pooh, a mouthful of old blood sprayed out from Rong's mouth. To be continued. Chapter 447. Rong was repeatedly toyed with by Xiao Han. Finally, anger attacked his heart, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Aggrieved. Humiliated. As a leading figure of a large plane, Rong had always had the upper hand in all his life, and had never suffered a setback. But this time he was actually repeatedly thwarted by Xiao Han. This caused his insufferably arrogant mentality to suffer a devastating blow. Xiao Han. Little bastard. Die for this seat. Die. Kill you. Exterminate your entire family. Slaughter your plane. Rong had completely gone mad, almost showing signs of being possessed. He repeatedly unleashed his ultimate killing techniques on the spot, causing the space to collapse like tiles. The helmet that he was wearing had fallen to the ground, revealing a head of black hair that was fluttering in the wind, messy. His entire person had sunk into a demonic spell, imagining everything around him as Xiao Han, and continuously bombarded. After half an hour, Rong's anger finally subsided. Then, not good. Bad news. Luring the tiger away from the mountain. This seat actually fell for that little bastard Xiao Han's luring the tiger away from the mountain. Damn it. Rong suddenly reacted and then madly sprinted towards the direction of the square. In the square. The 10 demons from Xiao Han's plane who were originally kneeling in the square had already disappeared without a trace. And all around the square there were scattered flesh and blood, muscle tissues, bone fragments. Blood flowed like a river and a thick aura of death and resentment lingered. It was completely a mountain of corpses and a sea of bones. Seeing this situation, surprisingly, Rong did not fly into a rage. His expression instead seemed extremely numb, and his entire person also appeared extremely calm to the point of being terrifying. It was like the calm before the storm. Dead. All dead. The last batch of demon heroes that followed me out of this plane have all died in the hands of Xiao Han. Now only I, a few great elders and a few dozen elders are left. Dead. How tragic. I think I'm going to die soon too. Xiao Han, oh Xiao Han, I didn't expect that my plane would be buried in the hands of a stinky brat like you. I fought against the heavens and the demon race to establish an immortal foundation. My ambition was not fulfilled yet. Unexpectedly, all of them were destroyed in the hands of a young man from a trashy plane. Fate? I can't accept this. Suddenly, Rong seemed to be completely disheartened, and he squatted on the ground all of a sudden. Xiao Han sprinted through the hallucinatory devil palace. After an hour, he finally found a region that was most suitable for cultivation. The density of the hallucinatory demonic realm here was extremely high. Xiao Han sat cross-legged and began to swallow the hallucinatory demonic realm wantonly, refining it into his sea of consciousness. He was accumulating and preparing for breaking through to the 19 spirit finger technique. 2 hours later, Xiao Han had absorbed and refined all the hallucinatory demonic realm in this region. Then he searched for another region with a higher density of hallucinatory demonic realm. Just like that, after a few hours, the spirit power in Xiao Han's sea of consciousness was already extremely full. The spirit power star burst out with the sound of metal bouncing. Clang, clang, clang. Every time it bounced, the heavens and the earth would shatter. Its power was like the great prison of the mountains and seas. It was almost invincible. Xiao Han felt that his spirit power was about to condense into a substance. If he released it at once, he could directly attack the enemy. It should be enough. The accumulation is almost enough to break through to the 19 spirit finger technique. It was dusk and the sunset was sad and beautiful. Xiao Han was like a lonely crane, sitting cross-legged on the ridge of a house. A powerful halo of spirit power enveloped Xiao Han's entire head. That immortal divine light was spreading, and a poem of praise was faintly being sung. Xiaohan's hands moved, forming hand seals one after another. His movements were unconstrained, like a heavenly steed soaring through the sky, like a swimming fish, like a white steed flitting through a gap. He was breaking through to the 19th spirit finger technique. The spirit power star in his sea of consciousness became increasingly condensed, sturdy, and dazzling with a golden luster. His spirit power was highly concentrated. His spirit and aura were flawless and untainted, extraordinary and refined. In this strange and profound cultivation process, Xiaohan's mind did not have the slightest bit of impurity. His entire soul was as clear as crystal. Suddenly Xiaohan felt his spirit power and soul suddenly fly out, shooting up into the sky and penetrating into the endless void. This feeling was as if his soul was floating out of his brain. His soul had left his body. It feels like the last time I was possessed by the demon god soul. My entire soul was forced to leave my body. It was very strange. Xiaohan's soul flew up to a high place and he could actually see himself. However, very quickly Xiaohan's soul could no longer see himself. His soul flew up higher and higher. In the end, it seemed as if it had flown out of this hallucinatory devil palace and beyond the 9 heavens. Light as a feather, as if I can fly to wherever I want. The whole world seems to be no longer shackled by the space. What a strange feeling. It's as if my spirit power can freely jump through space in this mysterious void. Xiaohan was even more dazed and felt that it was strange. However, in the next moment, in the void, endless time and space storms appeared. Between the heavens and the earth, there was no light from the sun or moon. In an instant, Xiaohan's spirit was lost in the endless space and time. He felt isolated and helpless, lost in the depths of the distant space and time, never to return. All around him he saw endless storms howling and howling. Not good. All of a sudden, Xiaohan only felt that his soul was shaken to the core, and he felt a sense of vulnerability as if he was in danger. He knew very well that if his soul was wrapped by those time and space storms, it would be instantly burned and minced. His spirit would be destroyed. Come back quickly. Soul. Quickly return to your body from this place where the time and space storms are brewing. Hurry. Xiaohan was anxious and uneasy. At the same time, in the depths of the time and space storms, Xiaohan could vaguely see a door. However, this door was very blurry, and its specific shape was completely unclear. However, that door seemed to have formed an instinctive attraction for Xiaohan. This caused Xiaohan to have a strong desire to rush over, open the door and see what was inside. Wung. Shockingly, the great accomplishment stage saber intent that was floating in Xiaohan's soul suddenly let out a howl. Ah! The saber intent is being attracted. Behind that door there seems to be something attracting the saber intent. Could it be the door of the saber realm, the legendary door of the saber realm? As a saber cultivator, the level of saber intent above the great accomplishment stage is saber intent godly. To reach the legendary level of saber intent godly, one must open the door of the saber realm. Ah! The illusory door of the saber realm, it seems like I have sensed it. Roar! Xiaohan's soul was completely trembling. But my soul can't reach that door at all. The entire void is filled with time and space storms, my soul will be minced. I have to pass through all kinds of dangers to reach that door. But my soul is currently too weak. All kinds of thoughts came one after another. At this moment, Xiaohan's spirit and soul were falling rapidly. Falling to the bottom. The next moment, it's back again? Xiaohan's body trembled and found that his soul had returned to his sea of consciousness. However, when his soul left his body and roamed the void, Xiaohan's soul and spirit had once again undergone an indescribable baptism and tempering. Suddenly, boom! The last gesture of the 19th spirit finger technique was completed. This caused the density of the spirit star in Xiaohan's sea of consciousness to soar once again, and his spirit power had increased by a huge level. The moment the spirit wave spread out, it covered an area of 2 million meters. It covered the entire hallucinatory demon palace. After completing the 19th spirit finger technique, Xiaohan's spirit undulation's range of scanning instantly exploded. If not for the fact that the hallucinatory demon palace only covered an area of 2 million meters, Xiaohan would have been able to scan a wider and grander area. Success! Xiaohan stood up. I've completed the 19th spirit finger technique, and my spirit power is getting closer and closer to solidifying. When my soul left my body just now, I seem to have sensed the gate of the saber realm, but I can't open the gate of the saber realm yet. It's not enough to open the gate of the Saber Realm yet. Forget it, I'll put that gate of the Saber Realm aside for now, and don't let my imagination run wild. Wait until I complete the 28 sets of spirit finger techniques, then I'll go explore. Now, Xiao Han stretched his body, his eyes filled with fighting spirit. I'll take the initiative and launch the final attack on Rong. First I'll kill all the elders in his realm. Then I'll make Rong completely alone. Xiao Han leaped into the air and jumped out of the tall building. In the plaza where Rong was, Rong Ku sat in the middle of the plaza, a numb and miserable smile on his face. 5 great elders and dozens of ordinary elders had all rushed back from all directions. They looked at the piles of corpses around the plaza, then looked at Rong Ku, who had lost all hope and could roughly guess some things. A wave of bone-chilling coldness immediately invaded their bones and lungs. Lord Rong, those hostages, have they been rescued by that little bastard? Our evil heroes. All of them have been killed, Lord Rong. Weren't you supposed to stay in the plaza? Oh, how did our heroes meet with misfortune? What is going on? Another great elder asked in a stuttering voice. All of a sudden, Rong Ku went berserk, jumping up and down, baring his fangs. Scram? All of you scram. Scram far away. Scram. Don't be noisy in front of me. As soon as he said that, Rong Ku slapped them repeatedly, causing all the great elders and ordinary elders to fall to the ground. All of you scram. Rong Ku laughed maniacally. Scram. Otherwise all of you will die. These elders were terrified by Rong Ku's craziness. Then one by one they ran away like birds and beasts. All of you scram. Rong Ku stood in the middle of the plaza in a daze, his figure extremely lonely. These elders were all dispersed by Rong Ku and stood 10,000 meters away. It's over. Lord Rong has gone mad. It seems that Lord Rong has completely gone mad. What should we do? What should we do now? Are we all going to die here? A great elder's face was filled with unwillingness and despair. All right, let's all disperse and search for that little bastard. Once we find him, if we can kill him, then kill him. If we can't kill him, send out a voice fluctuation. Tell him that we are willing to give in and reconcile with him. Forget it, we don't need to care about Lord Rong anymore. We will privately negotiate with that little bastard. Privately negotiate with that young man and try our best to satisfy his request. We will all compromise. Let's see if he can let us live. All right, let's disperse and send the message. Lord Rong is unreliable. If we want to live now, we can only rely on ourselves. After a round of discussion, the elders dispersed. Oh? All of you have dispersed? In a dark and narrow alley, Xiao Han's figure appeared. All the elders, before the sun rises tomorrow? All of you, go to hell. To be continued. Chapter 448. In the illusory Devil Palace, the people from the Rong Plain were undoubtedly attacking Xiao Han's strong points with their weak points. They were restricted by Xiao Han in every aspect and had almost no ability to fight back. The hostage plan, that they saw as their only hope, had now completely failed. Not only were the 10 hostages successfully rescued by Xiao Han, but even the last batch of demon warriors was also hunted down by Xiao Han. It was a great defeat. They were all badly injured. This caused Rong Che to be completely disheartened. As for the remaining elders, each of them had to find a way to survive on their own. Late at night, these elders were scattered in the Devil Palace and wantonly sent out their thoughts and messages, wanting to let Xiao Han hear their thoughts. Xiao Han, show yourself. At this moment we have already completely admitted defeat. We have all admitted defeat. Come out. No matter what request you have, we will satisfy you. Xiao Han, come out. Let's turn hostility into friendship. From today onwards, we will no longer be enemies with you. Moreover, if you are willing to come to our plane, we will also recommend you to become an elder of the Demon Warrior Tower. This will allow you to obtain the worship and faith of all living beings in our plane. Xiao Han, we will not hold any grudges against the demon warriors that you killed in our plane. All the enmity between us will be written off. Let's be friends happily. Hang, you're only admitting defeat now. Xiao Han walked quickly on a path. He released his spiritual force and locked onto a grand elder and 9 ordinary elders who were 50,000 meters in front of him. A cold smile appeared at the corner of Xiao Han's mouth. If we had minded our own business from the beginning, I would not have risked my life to fight with all of you. But now it's too late. All of you must pay the price for bullying the weak and being insufferably arrogant. The Grand Elder and 9 ordinary elders were locked onto by Xiao Han's spiritual force. They wandered back and forth in the Devil Palace with terrified expressions. They were like wandering ghosts. How tragic. The affairs of the world are inconstant. There were many dynasties that collapsed just because of trivial matters. So, I understood this principle before, but the stronger one's cultivation is, the more arrogant they become. Now I finally have to drink the bitter wine that I brewed myself. Shahana, let us go. The great elder sighed in a depressed manner. 9 ordinary elders. Walking behind him, she was also filled with sorrow. Her throat was choked up and she couldn't speak. Just then, woo-woo, 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 in the dark night. A large area of the sky suddenly condensed as countless hallucinatory demonic boundaries gathered together like thousands of evil dragons. Then, boom. He faced the Grand Elder directly. As well as the 9 ordinary elders, they came down. The entire world was filled with strange phenomena. Up in the sky and down on the ground, everything was an auditory hallucination. It was as if demons, ghosts, and gods were crying. It was as if the heavens were weeping bitterly and inconsolably. Terrifying cries could be heard coming from the rift. Following this, cracks began to appear in the sky, accompanied by the sound of the stars shattering. It was a terrifying sight. Puchi, puchi, puchi. A terrifying sound resounded. It was as if the heavens were being forcefully torn apart by the demons. The night sky was dyed red as if the heavens were bleeding. Hallucinatory demonic boundaries. The hallucinatory demonic boundaries within a radius of a few thousand meters were highly compressed. The density had reached 100 times or even 1,000 times that of the initial state. Killing people and ghosts, causing people to be possessed. I can't resist such a degree of hallucinatory demonic boundaries. Roar. I saw it. I saw the end of the world. The end of the world in the legends. So it was like this. The sky was raining blood, the ghosts were howling, the end of the world was coming, the void was collapsing, and the universe was returning to chaos. Roar. Miserable. Bitter. It's Xiao Han. Xiao Han. Stop it. Let us go. As the great elder of a great plane, I have 101 true meridians in my body in the heavenly eye. I am invincible in the secular world. I have the body of a half-immortal. I can't die. If I die, the heavens and earth will mourn. It's a tragedy in the mortal world. Let me go. The great elder started to howl and cry blood. His cries were like the cries of a cuckoos and apes. But the hallucinatory demonic boundaries was suppressing, crazily suppressing. The great elder's aura was getting weaker and weaker. His aura was getting weaker and weaker. I don't want to die. The great elder screamed and opened his heavenly eye. His half-immortal body was emitting a sparkling immortal light. One after another, killing techniques exploded in all directions. He resisted with all his might. However, the hallucinatory demonic boundaries was an attack on the spiritual level. It was a soul attack and not a physical attack. Thus, the great elder's heavenly eye was useless. Continuous suppression. Moreover, the hallucinatory demonic boundaries in all directions were getting more and more rampant, crazier, and aggressive. The entire night was dyed with a layer of bloody calamity. Shockingly, the great elder's heavenly eye couldn't withstand the spiritual pressure and directly shut down. Pooh! Suddenly, the great elder spat out a mouthful of blood. Bitter. The great elder's muscles were spasming and his facial features were sunken. Sweat poured down like rain. He had no choice but to sit down and bitterly guard his mind that was about to collapse. As for the 9 ordinary elders, they couldn't even speak. All of them sat cross-legged with their hands clasped together. Their bodies were twitching. Boom, boom, boom. The hallucinatory demonic boundaries were like a meteor shower. As if they didn't care about their lives, they splashed down and attacked the group of elders. In less than the time it took for a stick of incense to burn. Finally, an ordinary elder couldn't hold it anymore. His mind scattered like a sand sculpture. He let out a short roar and then raised his hand and slapped his forehead. His body split open and scattered blood and foam on the ground. As the elder succumbed to the devil and died, the devils will spread like a plague. I can't hold it anymore. I can't hold it anymore. Bang, bang, bang. The remaining ordinary elders had all fallen into bedevilment. Their heads exploded and their bodies were smashed to pieces. That great elder was still bitterly holding on. but he was also a lamp that had run out of oil. After a short while, "Xiaohan, you won't have a good death," the great elder screamed. He also followed in the footsteps of the ordinary elders and fell into bedevilment, ending his own life. The night became quiet again. The wind continued to blow. The damp and cold air made people feel a sad and withered atmosphere. Xiaohan slowly walked to this area and looked at the broken corpses on the ground. Then he silently disappeared. An entire night. Xiaohan was like the most terrifying hunter, hiding in the darkest corner, hunting and killing the elders of the Rong Plain. They were not able to escape Xiaohan's hunt. After completing the 19th spirit finger technique, in this hallucinatory devil palace that was like his home field, Xiaohan harvested the lives of those elder-level powerhouses like cutting grass. Dead. Within a few hours, Xiaohan killed all the elders of the Rong Plain. Great elder. Ordinary elder. Not a single one was left. Exterminating them all. Rong, now in this huge hallucinatory devil palace. Only the two of us are left. Xiaohan was like a lone crane, standing proudly at the top of a pavilion. His sleeves fluttered in the night wind. His aura seemed to be about to break the void and fly away with the wind. Originally, I didn't have the resources to fight against the leader of a large plane, a half-immortal body, and fight to the death. But in this hallucinatory devil palace, everything is possible. I can faintly feel that my foundation and accumulation have become more solid. It will be greatly beneficial for me to transform my true chi into true talismans in the future. Killing people who are of a higher realm than me and challenging an entire plane alone is a perfect tempering for my will. After killing all the elders of the Rong Plain, the true meridians in Xiaohan's body became more and more flawless. They were crystal clear and emitted a holy light. Those true meridians that had not been opened yet seemed to be throbbing and were ready to move. Accumulation. I can clearly feel the accumulation. Xiaohan took a deep breath and smiled with satisfaction. Then he frowned. However, this accumulation is still not enough. I, Xiaohan, must do my best in cultivating true qi. Although it was glorious to expand my meridians by 2553 times, it has already passed. My talisman transformation must be amazing and must surpass the expansion of meridians in one go. Then, I need to accumulate even more. The more the better. Wrong. I must obtain enough accumulation from you. Xiaohan's eyes became more and more resolute. His mind was clear. Then, I will destroy all the exits in the hallucinatory devil palace, leaving only one exit. The corner of Xiaohan's mouth twitched, revealing an extraordinary smile. One exit, me and Rong. In this situation where there's only one exit left, I'll fight Rong head-on and cut off all means of retreat. Once I kill him, I'll obtain a heaven-defying accumulation. That's right. One exit and the two of them will fight to the death. Xiaohan was putting himself at death's door first. Once Rong was killed, Xiaohan's entire soul would undergo a perfect transformation. This way, the accumulation he would obtain would far exceed the success of assassinating Rong. Expanding Meridian Realm and killing an immortal Eye Realm expert who has opened the heavenly eye. I'm afraid there has never been such an achievement even in the endless ordinary planes of the universe. It will definitely surpass the ancient times. This way, no one in this world will be able to surpass my accumulation. He had made up his mind. Xiaohan leapt out. And at this very moment, Rong, who was sitting in the middle of the plaza, felt a trace of sorrow in his heart. His heart was moved and he stood up abruptly, dead. I can sense that all the grand elders and ordinary elders are dead. I am the only one left. Ah. Ha 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 ha. When I left my hometown, I led all the grand elders and ordinary elders in the Yaoxiao Pagoda and selected over 1,000 geniuses to prepare for battle. However, all of them are dead. I am the only one left. Ah. Xiaohan. Now only the two of us are left in this hallucinatory devil palace. Do you dare to fight me? Fight to the death. Rong roared angrily. His spiritual voice spread out in all directions. Chapter 449. Xiaohan. Now only you and I are left in this illusory devil palace. Do you dare to fight with this seat? Fight to the death. Xiaohan. Now only you and I are left in this illusory devil palace. Do you dare to fight with this seat? Fight to the death. That sound transmission of Rong pledging to fight to the death continuously transmitted to every corner of the illusionary fiend palace. The powerful battle intent surged and pierced through heaven and earth. At this moment Rong's life force reached its peak. His aura, his spirit, and his battle intent were all rendered to the extreme. Xiaohan. Let's fight. This seat, with the identity of the leader of a great plain, challenges you. Life or death, a battle to decide. Xiaohan, I have to say, you are the most terrifying enemy that this seat has ever encountered. You are even more terrifying than those great demon emperors. You are an enemy that is worthy of this seat's respect. Let's fight. Even if this seat dies in your hands, I will accept it. Boom, boom, boom. Xiaohan continuously destroyed more than 10 exits. His figure slightly paused. His spirit fluctuation also sensed Rong's voice transmission. Oh. Xiaohan was slightly stunned and the corner of his mouth twitched. What a powerful battle intent. Looks like that Rong has already regarded me as his mortal enemy. He doesn't hesitate to bet his life to fight with me. Ah. As expected of the ruler of a great plain. The aura and battle intent that erupted when he staked everything on one throw is sufficiently powerful. This battle intent, if one's spirit and soul is slightly weaker, I'm afraid that before the battle even starts, one would be scared to death by his aura. However, although I, Xiaohan, also want to fight to the death with Rong, I can't always choose the time when his aura is the most vigorous. Should I go straight to the front? Ah. The first drum of energy, the second weak, the third exhausted. Rong want to fight at the time when he wants to temporarily avoid his sharp edge and wait until tomorrow. His aura will definitely be exhausted and the danger level of the illusory devil realm will increase by another 10 times. With another increase of 10 times, my chances of killing Rong will rise exponentially. Thinking of this, Xiaohan no longer ignored Rong's challenge. Instead, he focused on destroying the remaining exits. Before dawn, phew, it's done. Xiaohan walked into a courtyard in a relaxed manner. All the exits in this hallucinatory devil palace have already disappeared. Finally, there's only one exit left. Shortly after, Xiaohan closed his eyes and went to sleep, conserving his energy. When the sun rose, he would look for an opportunity to have a final battle with Rong. Of course, the only exit that Xiaohan had left behind was hundreds of thousands of meters away from Rong. Naturally, there was no need to worry that Rong would be able to find it in a short time. This allowed Xiaohan to sleep in peace. The first ray of morning light shone into the illusionary demon palace. Hong, 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 the muffled sound of thunder resounded in the sky. Today, the density and danger level of the hallucinatory fiend realm had increased by 10 times compared to yesterday. Countless hallucinatory demonic realms were spread out between the heavens and earth, like heavenly demons rampaging about, wanting to bring disaster to the mortal world. After a short nap, Xiaohan had already recovered. His vitality had been adjusted to its peak. Feeling refreshed, Zhang Xian walked out of the residence. Today's hallucinatory demonic realm's density and danger level has increased by 10 times. Xiaohan smiled slightly. If I remember correctly, today's hallucinatory demonic realm's danger level will be 40 times that of the first time I entered this hallucinatory demon palace. If nothing unexpected happens, today will also be the day that I and Rong fight to the death. Among us, only one will be able to leave alive. Just at this moment, a clear auditory hallucination appeared in Xiaohan's ears. On the 5th day of the hallucinatory demon palace, the density of the hallucinatory demonic realm has increased by 40 times, and the danger level has increased by 40 times. 1,000 exits, one left. In the plaza. There's only one exit left? Ah. There's only one exit left. Ah. Rong let out a maniacal laughter. This exit must have been prepared by Xiaohan for himself. Once he enters this exit, the hallucinatory demon palace will be completely closed. Ah. This is also an announcement that this seat will be completely trapped in this demon palace. This Xiaohan can teleport out immediately and use the only exit. Why didn't he teleport? Ah. He must want to make this seat feel great fear and anxiety before I die, to make this seat drown in despair. So sinister, so scheming. Good method. Roar. Xiaohan. Why don't you dare to fight with this seat? Roar. This seat has already decided to fight to the death, but you don't have the courage and determination to fight. Ah. How ironic. This seat has always been able to call the wind and summon the rain. I want the wind and get the rain, but I didn't expect that even my last request before I die can't be fulfilled. How regretful. This seat will die in such a muddle-headed manner. Ah. Suddenly Rong's surging battle intent and determination to fight to the death were being defeated bit by bit. His entire aura was weakening, and he seemed to have aged dozens of years or even hundreds of years in an instant. Even the hair on his temples had a touch of white. At this moment, Xiaohan still didn't immediately find Rong to fight to the death. Instead, Xiaohan leisurely found an area that was most suitable to cultivate the extinguishing sky decimating earth mental technique. He sat cross-legged and began to practice the 20th mental technique. Today, the density and danger level of the hallucinatory demonic realm in the entire Devil Palace has increased by another 10 times. To me, it's another good opportunity to cultivate. Once I break through the 20th mental technique, not only will my mental strength skyrocket again, but the density of the mental strength star will also become more compact and closer to solidification. After completing the 21st set of mental technique, his mental strength would be solidified successfully. Vaporization, liquefaction, solidification. Every stage was like the difference between heaven and earth. When he completed the 19th mental technique, Xiaohan could faintly sense the door of the Saber Realm. But because his soul and mental strength were too weak, he couldn't get close to the door of the Saber Realm. But if his mental strength solidified, perhaps he would have the chance to get close to the door of the Saber Realm and even open it, making his own Saber Intent, reaching the legendary Saber Intent Entrancement realm. In this way, Xiaohan could fight against the demon god egg in his heart. He would have a chance. To complete the 21st set of mental technique, the 20th set of mental technique was crucial. It could be said that the 20th set of mental technique was the foundation for the 21st set of mental technique. Moreover, if I can complete the 20th set of mental technique, I will have a greater chance of defeating Rong. With this in mind, Xiaohan began to devour and refine the hallucinatory demonic realm in order to break through to the 20th set of mental technique. He was preparing and accumulating. 4 hours later, Xiaohan could vaguely feel that his accumulation was more or less sufficient. He began to practice the 20th set of mental technique. This was the 20th set of mental technique. It was made up of a total of 100,000 subtle and profound hand gestures. To complete the 20th set of mental technique, he had to link these 100,000 hand gestures together perfectly. There couldn't be any mistakes or pauses in between. He had to do it in one go. However, when Xiaohan reached the 200,000th hand gesture, he actually couldn't link the 20001 hand gesture. With a pause, all his previous efforts were wasted. Moreover, when he reached the 200,000th hand gesture, Xiaohan's entire body started to show signs of exhaustion and powerlessness. Xiaohan was puzzled. However, he quickly regained his composure and continued to cultivate. The situation was exactly the same as before. When he reached the 200,000th hand gesture, all the energy in his body seemed to have been squeezed dry, causing Xiaohan's vision to blur and his body to go limp. I understand now. Suddenly, a light flashed in Xiaohan's mind. It's my physical body strength that can't keep up. That's right, in order to continuously strengthen his mental strength, he must have a corresponding physical body strength. After all, mental strength relied on a person's body. If the mental strength was too strong and the physical body was too weak, the physical body would not be able to suppress the mental strength. Then, there was a high possibility that the person would enter a demonic state or even directly explode. I understand, my physical body can only support me until the 19th set of mental technique. If I want to progress further, I must first increase the strength of my physical body. That's right, that's it. Xiaohan figured out the crux of the matter. In this illusory devil palace, it is naturally impossible to increase the strength of my physical body. Moreover, in order to satisfy the requirements of completing the 20th set of mental technique, I must go through thousands of tempering. It is not something that can be easily matched. It's my limit. I have now reached a bottleneck. I can only temporarily stop cultivating this extinguishing sky decimating earth mental technique. In the future, when my physical body becomes stronger, I will continue to attempt the 20th set of mental technique. Alright. Then let's leave this illusory devil palace. Xiaohan's gaze looked towards the distant location where Rong was. Within his eyes, a strong battle intent began to brew. Suddenly, Xiaohan's sound waves gathered into a line and through mental fluctuations he sent a message to Rong. Rong, it's time for a battle between us. Rong, Xiaohan, and you have already formed a deep enmity that can never be resolved. Between us we cannot live under the same sky. If I'm not wrong right now, you have already become my heart's demon, and I have also become your heart's demon. Between the two of us, one of us will definitely die in the hands of the other. Now, in the entire illusory devil palace, only the two of us are left. There is also only one exit left. Let's fight. Those who survive go through that exit and teleport out. Before the battle, I can tell you the location of that exit. If you can kill me, you can directly find that exit. In the plaza. Rong immediately received Xiao Han's voice transmission. Xiao Han. Xiao Han, it's you. Rong's spirit was roused, and his entire person exploded into a heart-wrenching howl. The last battle? Xiao Han, you want to fight to the death with this seat? But before this battle, you even told this seat the location of the exit. Looks like you've put your life on the line. In this way, perhaps in the battle, you will be able to stimulate all of your life's potential. Good. Xiao Han, you're indeed a character. This seat has also been waiting for this battle. Come, let's fight. Rong puffed up his chest. His battle-intent soared. Xiao Han walked towards Rong step by step, and with every step, his battle intent rose a notch and his aura rose a notch. Rong, come. The battle of the ages. In this battle, I, Xiao Han, will lay the most solid foundation for my future true Qi cultivation. Chapter 450. Xiao Han had spent several days in this hallucinatory devil palace. Not only had he cultivated the exterminating sky-decimating earth mental technique to the 19th mental finger technique, his mental energy was infinitely close to solidifying. He had also killed all the people from the Rong plane. Except for a small number of evil heroes who were lucky enough to be teleported out, in the Rong plane most of the heroes were killed. All the elders, including a few great elders, were killed. Which was also to say that in the hallucinatory fiend palace now, there was only Rong, this loner, left. The originally aggressive and valiant troops had melted like ice. Xiao Han's spiritual force locked onto Rong, and his battle intent soared. His aura towered over the heavens as he walked towards Rong step by step. In the plaza, at this moment Rong inexplicably felt a predestined battle, a predestined feeling. He's coming, Xiao Han. Let's fight. Suddenly, half-immortal Rong's body began to burn. Boundless energy gathered at his forehead. The heaven's eye opened. Hong, along with the sonorous hymn, sacred light beams shot out from Tsong Rong's heaven eye in the shape of a fan. His mental power and soul had entered a clear state, flawless and untainted. His mental power pierced through the layers of hallucinatory demonic realm in the demon palace, covering an area of close to 100,000 meters. It had reached an extreme. In a trance, Rong sensed Xiao Han's position. Moreover, Rong could sense that Xiao Han was walking towards him step by step. He really came. Rong's lips curled into a bitter smile. That's the young man who destroyed the hope of my entire plane, causing it to fall from a mighty plane to a weak one. It's all thanks to him. I've been trying to capture him all this time. Even if he dug 3 feet into the ground, he still couldn't find him. There was nothing he could do. Now he had finally appeared, in the entire hallucinatory devil palace. 1,000 exits were destroyed by him. Right now there's only one left. Between me and him, one must die. Lock onto his life aura and location. Rong's third eye condensed and released a beam of dark light, which shot towards Xiao Han, who was tens of thousands of meters away. Gradually, after a few hundred breaths' time, the glow turned into some tiny runes. It stuck to Xiao Han's body. In this way, Rong finally managed to collect some of Xiao Han's life force. Then, as long as Xiao Han was in this hallucinatory demon palace, no matter where he hid, he would not be able to escape. Rong Do was able to roughly lock onto Xiao Han's position and hunt him down. Rong's complexion was slightly pale as a tired expression emerged on his face. However, the depths of his eyes were burning with excitement. I finally collected the life aura of this little bastard. It wasn't easy. In this way he has nowhere to run. Although he had locked onto the position through the air. Moreover, collecting life aura consumes a lot of energy, but it's worth a try. Just now, when Rong had gathered power from his immortal body and used his heaven eyes to collect Xiao Han's life aura from tens of thousands of meters away, he had consumed a third of his power, which he couldn't replenish in time. But, in this hallucinatory devil palace, this little bastard Xiao Han's greatest advantage is that his whereabouts are mysterious and unpredictable. His mental strength is different from ordinary people, and he can use the hallucinatory devil realm to carry out assassinations. In this plane of mine, all the people who died in the hands of Xiao Han were killed by assassinations. They were not killed by Xiao Han in a direct confrontation. Xiao Han is nothing more than an insignificant acupoint expansion realm cultivator with a slightly stronger body. I can still easily crush him to death by consuming a third of my energy. It's like slaughtering pigs and dogs. Don't mention consuming a third of my energy, even if I consume 2/3 of my energy, I will still completely defeat him. Using a third of my energy to exchange for his life aura, this is too perfect. In front of me he can no longer hide his whereabouts and tricks. His greatest advantage is gone. Xiaohan, let me personally punish you. Rong Yi also took a step forward and strode towards Xiaohan. Oh? While walking, Xiaohan felt a sense of being monitored, like maggots in his bones, lingering on. Soon, a ray of dim light was projected onto his body. Moreover, this ray of dim light, after brewing, scattered and formed a miniature talisman, seeping into Xiaohan's cells and meridians. Xiaohan looked inside his body. He discovered that these miniature talismans were condensed in his body without dispersing, like a pair of devil's eyes, peeping at him from the unseen world. Ha! That Rong is still playing tricks? In an instant Xiaohan understood. Separated by tens of thousands of meters, under normal circumstances, Rong can easily launch an attack on me. But in this hallucinatory demonic realm's dense demonic palace, even with Rong's ability, he can't launch a direct fatal attack. This trick of his. And it's not to attack me but to waste energy to plant a talisman in my body that can monitor me at any time. Planting such a talisman from tens of thousands of meters away, it must consume a lot of energy and mental strength, right? Ah. This Rong is still worried that I will change my mind at the last moment. Does he still not understand my determination to fight? Ha 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 ha. Unnecessary. Xiaohan revealed a disdainful smile as he walked. I have already said it myself, this is the final battle, it cannot be avoided, this Rong is still wasting energy to monitor me, afraid that I will run away. Psychologically speaking, he has already lost. Suddenly, Xiaohan's conviction to win rose again. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly Xiaohan took a step forward and ran towards Rong. And? He is actually running so fast. Rong sneered, then he also used his speed and ran towards Xiaohan. The distance between the two rapidly shortened. 50,000 meters. 30,000 meters. 20,000 meters. Within 10,000 meters. Ha ha ha, it seems that I can already clearly feel Xiaohan's heartbeat. Rong's smile was extremely cruel. Outside the hallucinatory demonic palace. A blue space. A stable space. The people of Xiaohan's plane and the people of Rong's plane were clearly entrenched. At this time, there were less than 200 people teleported out of the hallucinatory demonic palace in Rong's plane. They looked at each other. A panicked expression appeared on his face. Elders and Lord Rong, why haven't they teleported out yet? According to the time in the hallucinatory demonic palace. It should have been a few days ago, logically speaking. With the invincible skills of the elders and Lord Rong, they should have escaped from the damned demonic palace a long time ago. 1,000 exits, it's not a small number. It's impossible that Lord Rong and the elders haven't found any exits, right? At this time, a large group of demonic heroes surrounded the 5 demonic hero slaves that Xiaohan had enlightened, and asked questions at once. The 5 of you were the last to be teleported out. What's the situation in the hallucinatory demonic palace now? Lord Rong and the elders. Why haven't they teleported out yet? What about the other demonic hero companions? We have thousands of people entering the demonic palace, but now there are less than 200 people who can be teleported out. What's going on? We don't know about this. The 5 demonic hero slaves. They defended themselves in unison. In the demonic palace, we, Lord Rong, and the elders all acted separately and looked for the exits. After arriving, the density of the hallucinatory demonic realm in the demonic palace is very terrifying. Our spirit waves are imprisoned and compressed, so we have no way to meet with Lord Rong and the elders. The answers of the 5 demonic hero slaves were also flawless and impeccable. And in the camp of Xiaohan's plane, the 10 demonic heroes who were the last to be teleported out now all felt as if a lifetime had passed. Almost with tears in their eyes, they poured out what had happened to them to the demonic heroes who were on good terms with them. And soon, these 10 demonic heroes came to Xiao Mingchu's side and whispered to him with gratitude. Brother Xiao, this time, thanks to the help of your pure cloud sex Xiaohan, we can come out alive. My junior brother Xiaohan, how is he now? Why hasn't he been teleported out yet? Xiao Mingchu asked nervously and worriedly. Brother Xiao, don't worry. In the demonic palace, Xiaohan can simply summon the wind and summon the rain. He is all-powerful and fearless. The people of Rong's plane, including many elders and even Rong himself, were all played by Xiaohan in the palm of his hand. The 10 demonic heroes hurriedly told him about how Xiaohan had rescued them and how he had massacred in the demonic palace. Xiao Mingchu, Luo Tianyu, and the others could only listen to them in a daze and were shocked. As for the pagoda master, the elders, and the ancient giant Yan Qi, they formed a small camp and chatted with each other. That's right. In our plane, only less than 10 people who entered the demonic palace died. The rest of them all came out. Their achievements are brilliant. Their luck is like a rainbow. An elder stroked his beard and smiled. Pagoda master, according to the description of many demonic heroes who came out of the demonic palace, the immortal weapon in Xiaohan's hand is really invincible. It seems that even Rong has been defeated by Xiaohan again and again. Yan Qi winked at the pagoda master and said. From the corner of his eyes, he kept glancing at the 10 demonic heroes who were surrounding Xiao Mingqiu. The eyes of the pagoda master were filled with extreme fanaticism. As for the immortal weapon, I will discuss it with Xiaohan after he comes out. I hope that he will consider the big picture and contribute that immortal weapon. At this moment, boom, 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 beams of glazed light shot out from within the hallucinatory fiend palace, dyeing a large stretch of space into a beautiful and magnificent sight. The people from Xiaohan's plane and Rong's plane immediately sensed the spiritual waves. They did not know what was happening in the demonic palace and instinctively took a small step back. Suddenly, a clear auditory hallucination appeared in everyone's ears. On the 5th day of the demonic palace, the density of the demonic realm has increased by 40 times and the danger level has increased by 40 times. 1,000 exits, 1 remaining. On the 5th day of the demonic palace, the density of the demonic realm has increased by 40 times and the danger level has increased by 40 times. 1,000 exits, 1 remaining. Inside the demonic palace. Finally, the distance between Xiaohan and Rong was less than 100 meters. On an empty road, the two of them stood facing each other. Finally, they met on a narrow path. Rong, clad in a scaled battle robe, stood tall and proud as he stared intently at Xiaohan. His eyes were scarlet red, as though he was a gambler who had lost everything and wanted to make a comeback in the end. His body was trembling slightly. Xiaohan, standing alone with a calm expression, looked indifferently at Rong. Xiaohan. Suddenly, Rong extended his right index finger and pointed at Xiaohan. You are Xiaohan. Little bastard, you have guts. You've forced me to such an extent. You made me feel unprecedented distress and despair. My elite demon heroes have all been massacred by you. Even many elders have died under your schemes and assassinations. Now I'm going to pull out your soul and burn it while you're still alive. I'll make you wish you were dead. Heck, so much nonsense. Xiaohan smiled faintly. Rong, the immortal eye realm has opened the heavenly eye and is invincible. Today I, Xiaohan, will kill you. I will definitely gain an indescribable accumulation. You will become a stepping stone for me, Xiaohan, to rise. Suddenly Xiaohan's aura rose to the extreme. It was as if even his body had grown bigger. Pointing to the heavens and stepping on the earth, his heart surged with the conviction of victory. All the true acupoints in his body transmitted a vague throbbing. Chapter 451. Xiaohan and Rong, this pair of archenemies, finally met on a narrow path to fight to the death. However, neither of them made the first move. Rong's spiritual force was firmly locked onto Xiaohan. He used a scrutinizing gaze to size up Xiaohan. His eyes were burning as if he wanted to see through Xiaohan. He wanted to see through all of Xiaohan's secrets. Xiaohan, on the other hand, was silently preparing. The liquid spiritual force star in his sea of consciousness released waves of spiritual force. It merged with this hallucinatory demon palace. As long as Xiaohan willed it, the earth-shattering hallucinatory demon realm would attack Rong. Rong was possessed by the devil. Phew, strong. Really too strong. At this moment, Xiaohan was facing Rong head-on, and he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. As expected of the leader of a powerful plane, someone who stands at the top of the pyramid, although he has been forced into an extremely difficult situation by me and his aura has fallen greatly, his aura and his bearing are still shocking. I, Xiaohan, am able to fight against such a great character. Before this, it was simply unimaginable. Rong did not use his ultimate technique to attack Xiaohan. He was observing Xiaohan inch by inch. At the next moment, Rong finally spoke. Expanded Meridian Realm. I can see it clearly now. It's the Expanded Meridian Realm. It's definitely the Expanded Meridian Realm. Moreover, from the fluctuations of life, he's only 10 years old. He's not even 100 years old. He's still wet behind the ears. Yes, the Expanded Meridian Realm has expanded very well. Your foundation is very solid. Xiaohan, if I'm not wrong, your Expanded Meridian Realm should be more than 2,000 times, right? This Rong actually spoke with fervor and assurance. His attitude made it seem as if he had Xiaohan firmly in his grasp, and had Xiaohan in his grasp. That's right. Although after entering the hallucinatory demon palace, Rong repeatedly suffered losses in Xiaohan's hands. Being restrained everywhere, Rong was not an ordinary person. Now he was facing Xiaohan. After carefully analyzing Xiaohan, he discovered Xiaohan's age and cultivation. It was really difficult to pose a threat to him. Thus, the confidence and demeanor of a great character was re-established. Soon, Rong's aura became that of a monarch. Moreover, Rong's aura was completely locked on Xiaohan. As long as Xiaohan made any strange movements, it would trigger Rong's fiercest attack. Under such circumstances, Xiaohan had no way to escape. Without waiting for Xiaohan to reply, Rong continued. When I expanded my acupoints in the past, I expanded them by 1,500 times, but I'm probably not as good as you. However, expanding aperture realm. At the end of the day, you are only building your foundation, not your combat strength. In other words, Xiaohan, you are very weak right now. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. In front of this seat they are like ants. Ha! Xiaohan laughed involuntarily. Yes. My cultivation base is nothing more than an ant in front of you. However, it is also an ant like me who has treated you as a demon hero and an elder of this plane. They fought until they were forced to retreat again and again until they were completely wiped out. Ah, it seems like it's really ironic. Rong's face went pale when he heard this, and the veins on his face swelled up while his eyes emitted an expression of deep resentment. Little bastard. You're cunning, humph. You were able to repeatedly assassinate the elites of my plane. It was all a trick. With your cultivation base, even a demon hero of this plane who is at the 9th stage of true chi would be able to kill you. After pausing for a moment, Rong's expression calmed down again. He looked at Xiaohan as if he was looking at a pile of dead things. You can use the hallucinatory demonic realm to turn our people into devils. It seems like your mental strength is strong enough. Moreover, it is highly possible that you are hiding a immortal tool. As he spoke, Rong's eyes were dyed with greed and heat. Immortal tool. And this is the only explanation. Otherwise, no matter how strong your mental strength is, it would be impossible for you to use the hallucinatory demonic realm to successfully assassinate the great elder of this plane. Immortal tool. If I can obtain the immortal tool in your hands, I can probably make up for the losses of this plane. Rong muttered to himself. Xiaohan, you are too arrogant. You actually dare to face this seat. Ah. Whatever methods you have, just use them all. Right now, this seat will make you wish you were dead. Chaos divine art. Kill for me. Finally, Rong did not continue to be long-winded. All the true chi in his body condensed. A strong immortal aura burst out from his half-immortal body. Countless true talismans exploded from his body, forming all kinds of talisman formations that were constantly being created and destroyed. Almost in an instant, Rong pushed all the true chi and the true meridians in his body to the extreme. He performed a divine secret technique that could destroy heaven and earth, kill people and destroy ghosts, and destroy all living beings. Rong grabbed with his big hand. Countless true chi fell from the sky. The holy song was loud and clear, and the immortal aura was melodious. It fell on the top of Xiaohan's head like a waterfall. As soon as Rong made his move, the void in all directions was torn apart by him. The fragile space was like a window made of paper. It could not resist his hand that covered the sky at all. He tore the void in the air. Immediately, thousands of long river cracks appeared in the depths of the space. Every long river had surging energy. These energies included starlight, Milky Way, nebula, frost, meteorites, flames, lightning. There were even traces of spatial cracks. All kinds of energy seemed to explode the entire world into chaos. It was as if heaven and earth were being split apart, order and rules were being destroyed, turning everything into chaos. New rules and order were being established. This level of true chi divine art had already surpassed the quality of most true chi divine arts. It was infinitely close to an immortal art. This was an attack that could destroy the world and descend a natural disaster. The rumbling impact and the aftermath of the attack caused the ground to crack. A river of flames, a river of lightning, a river of aurora. Thousands of powerful attacks attacked Xiaohan with the power to destroy the world. At this moment, Rong's arrogance soared to the sky. He was insufferably arrogant and looked down on everyone. He was as tyrannical as a king who had descended on the world. The elegance of a big shot was displayed to its fullest. Violent and tyrannical, unparalleled under the heavens. Who could resist such an attack? Even the tower master of Xiaohan's plane did not have such a method. This Rong did not attack, but once he did, it was as powerful as lightning. No one could stop him. It contained hatred towards Xiao Han, and with powerful energy, methods, tyranny, and the attitude of a monarch, he crushed and destroyed everything that stood in his way. This was Rong, the leader of a powerful plane. He was definitely not some random person. Moreover, this was an attack launched in the hallucinatory demonic realm, where the density was extremely high. Rong's energy was even depleted by a third because he tampered with Xiao Han's body. Without a doubt, if it was outside, Rong would be at his peak state. Such an attack, Xiao Han would not be able to resist at all. Even his thoughts would not be able to keep up. In an instant, he would be blasted into dregs and turned to ashes. It is indeed powerful. This Rong is already an arrow at the end of its flight, but he is still so savage. Even those great elders that I killed, although they were all existences that had opened the heavenly eye, once they met Rong, they would die instantly without any suspense. This was Rong's killing blow. It definitely contained the power to cut off rivers and tear apart continents. It was also fortunate that it was inside the hallucinatory demonic palace. This Rong's attack speed was disrupted by the hallucinatory demonic realm, and it was much slower. Otherwise, my bones would have already turned to ashes now. In the time it took for sparks to fly off a flint, a lot of shock also emerged in Xiao Han's mind. Furthermore, Xiao Han also had self-awareness. He was relying on the environment of the hallucinatory demonic palace. Only then could he contend with Rong. In terms of combat power, he and Rong were really worlds apart. If it was outside the hallucinatory demonic palace, even if Xiao Han made the first move and executed his strongest demonic technique, most likely he would also be instantly turned around by Rong and directly killed. Xiao Han. A frontal attack. This seat wants to see what you use to block it. After locking onto your position and restricting your mysterious movements, you are just trash. Rong roared savagely. Right now, Rong's attack was like a huge iron hammer descending from the sky and smashing towards an egg. Without a doubt, once it was smashed, the entire egg would explode into pieces. In the split second when Rong's attack was about to hit Xiao Han, the hallucinatory demonic realm that covered the sky was compressed by several times, causing a large area of space to become turbulent and all kinds of illusions to appear. Moreover, the air became unbearably dense. The hallucinatory demonic realm that was compressed was like a lump of paste, tightly wrapping around Rong's killing blow. Slow. The attack that was originally as fast as lightning and a thunderous strike, under the penetration of the hallucinatory demonic realm, actually suddenly slowed down. Xiao Han's eyes and hands were sharp. He moved like a fleeing rabbit and instantly jumped away. Although his figure was in a somewhat sorry state, he still managed to dodge it. What? He actually dodged this seat's all-out attack. Rong's attack that was almost in the bag was actually dodged by Xiao Han, causing him to be shocked. Activating the hallucinatory demonic realm to interfere with this seat's killing blow. This hallucinatory demonic realm is formless and material, pervasive and pervasive. Even true qi can permeate through it. Truly powerful. However, what's even more powerful is that you, Xiao Han, can control the hallucinatory demonic realm as you please. It's as if the hallucinatory demonic realm in this devil palace is a part of your body. How powerful. This seat has seen countless people, but I've never seen such a genius like you. However, although you can control the hallucinatory demonic realm and interfere with this seat's attack, it also consumes a lot of your mental strength, right? In the end you will still die. There's no suspense. Rong Aoao roared. It's my turn to attack. After Xiao Han dodged Rong's killing blow, he didn't have the slightest bit of negligence. At the critical moment, his mental strength once again wrapped around the hallucinatory demonic realm that was nearly 10,000 meters in circumference. He instantly compressed it and directly enveloped Rong. All of a sudden, between heaven and earth, a kind of earthen yellow color emerged. In the next moment, the center of this earthen yellow color suddenly exploded. A earthen yellow snake head rose up like a giant dragon. It opened its bloody mouth and viciously swallowed Rong. Of course, this was not the real snake head. It was an illusion formed by the hallucinatory demonic realm. Boom! Suddenly, this earthen yellow snake head with protruding horns scuttled into Rong's brain, as if he was filled with wisdom. Puchi. In Rong's brain, a strange sound burst out. All of his movements actually came to a halt. All the true chi attacks were instantly affected and vanished like smoke in thin air. Enter the devil state for this young master. Xiao Han roared sternly. Rong? A leading figure of a powerful plane. This young master will slaughter. Obtain accumulation. Relying on this move to make my plains people succumb to the devil state and die one after another? Suddenly Rong's facial expression became ferocious. As expected, after a large amount of hallucinatory demonic realm is compressed and directly poured into the brain and sea of consciousness, even those great elders of this plane can't bear it. Xiao Han successfully used the hallucinatory demonic realm to bombard Rong's sea of consciousness, just like how he dealt with the evil hero and the elders of Rong's plane before. If there was no accident, Rong's movement would be completely confined. He could only activate his spirit and soul to resist the hallucinatory demonic realm. After losing the ability to resist, he would be refined alive by Xiao Han, boiling a frog in warm water. However, on Rong's face, there was actually a fearless expression. This seat has been thinking about how to deal with this move of yours for a long time. Ah, immortal chi energy. Burn for this seat. Boom, from every pore and cell of Rong's body, immortal chi rushed out, rolling like smoke. Thousands of strands of immortal chi curled up and all seeped into the heavenly eye in between Rong's eyebrows. All of a sudden, Rong's heaven eye burst forth with boundless brilliance and magnificence. All of a sudden, all the immortal chi poured into Rong's sea of consciousness through the heavenly eye and began to repel the hallucinatory demonic realm that attacked Rong's sea of consciousness. Rong's facial expression became incomparably calm and insufferably arrogant. Idiot. This seat has the body of a half-immortal. Do you think that it's so easy to be possessed by the devil? What an idiot. This seat's body contains immortal chi. By burning this immortal chi and merging it into the sea of consciousness, it can strengthen the spirit and protect the soul. Ah. You probably think that since you can make the great elders of this plane to be possessed by the devil, you can certainly make this seat to be possessed by the devil too, right? Ah. Really funny. Yes, the 6 great elders who died in your hands had the same realm as this seat. They all opened 101 true acupoints and opened the heavenly eye. Once they opened the heavenly eye, they could see the immortal chi between heaven and earth and collect the immortal chi to condense their body and cultivate the body of a half-immortal. But this seat opened the heavenly eye thousands of years earlier than the 6 great elders. Ah. In this plane, at least 70% of the immortal chi was absorbed by this seat. The 6 great elders only divided the remaining 30% of the immortal chi together. Haha, this seat's immortal body, as well as the immortal chi energy stored in my body, far surpassed the 6 great elders. This seat consumes the immortal chi to make this seat maintain the purity of my soul and not be possessed by the devil. Xiao Han, your time of death has come. Chapter 452. Ha! Xiao Han, you scum. Why aren't you dead yet? Rong burst into hysterical laughter, tears bursting out from his eyes. At this moment, his entire body was bathed in the ethereal immortal chi. Sacred light crisscrossed, and his mind was clear and bright. The hallucinatory demonic realm that had infiltrated his consciousness was forcibly dispelled, and even purified. Xiao Han, your expanded aperture realm cultivation is worse than an ant. Your only trump card is to use the hallucinatory demonic realm to kill with a borrowed knife. But now, this seat completely ignores these hallucinatory demonic realm. My mind is clear and my mind is clear. The seat would like to see what other tricks you have? Ah. Vengeance. The seat will crush you bit by bit, inch by inch. Revenge for the outstanding talents of my plane. When this seat leaves this hallucinatory demonic palace and reaches the outside, I will definitely force you to reveal the coordinates of that trash plane and personally lead an army to suppress it. All the females of your plane will be reduced to the lowest level prostitutes. All the males of your plane will be killed into dregs. All the living beings of your plane will be used as a blood sacrifice for the many talents of my plane that have passed away. This Rong, compared to those great elders killed by Xiao Han, was much, much stronger. The immortal chi stored in his body was too abundant. And Xiao Han suddenly stopped moving. His entire body did not move an inch as he looked at Rong indifferently and muttered. Really difficult to deal with. Looks like I can only use my final trump card. What? Xiao Han. You're actually so calm? What a joke, your life is like a fish on the chopping board, ready to be slaughtered by this seat. You are still pretending to be mysterious? Really stubborn. Rong laughed sinisterly and pointed at Xiao Han. Now, it is useless even if you deliberately act mysterious. You will die without a doubt. No one in this world can save you. Rong did not believe that Xiao Han could turn the tables. The difference in strength between both sides was too great. There was no possibility of turning the tables. Xiaohan, the only thing you can rely on is the hallucinatory demonic realm in this devil palace. Right now, the hallucinatory demonic realm is ineffective against this seat. You are as anxious as a stray dog. Accept your fate. Rong's arrogance was extremely arrogant. And Xiaohan, do you really think that my trump card is only this hallucinatory magic realm? Wrong. Suddenly, the corner of Xiaohan's mouth pulled into a cold smile. His eyes flashed with extreme excitement and eagerness. Keng, the crisp sound of a blade being unsheathed rang out from Xiaohan's eyes. Xiaohan's temperament. It began to rise steadily. Become sharp. Become cold. He became like a king, overlooking the world. He had an ominous premonition. It instantly seized Rong. Hong, a heaven-defying saber aura soared into the sky from Xiaohan's body. His great accomplishment stage saber intent was instantly brewed to the extreme. Yes, Xiaohan's true trump card. It wasn't just the hallucinatory bewitching realm, but saber intent. To put it simply, the power of saber intent was closely related to two aspects. First, saber intent in one's own realm. Xiaohan's saber intent was at the great accomplishment stage. 2. The strength of his mental energy. Xiaohan cultivated the extinguishing sky decimating earth mental technique and cultivated to the 19th set of mental finger technique. The mental energy in his sea of consciousness was thick and viscous, almost solidifying, causing every drop of mental energy to be as heavy as a mountain. At this moment, Xiaohan had almost drained all the mental energy in his sea of consciousness and added it to the great accomplishment stage saber intent. Suddenly, a white light that was as dense as fog seeped out from Xiaohan's sea of consciousness. Rays of light, auspicious air, heavenly flowers fell, hymns flew. At the same time, Xiaohan's eyes also became domineering and sharp, revealing his sharp edge and penetrating everything. The air of a king gushed out unrestrainedly. Po, 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 po. Wisps of saber intents were emitted from the white light and exploded in the sky like a divine glow. In an instant, a huge formation of saber intents appeared in the sky. Saber immortals, saber sovereigns, and saber artists could be seen walking in it. The saber chi traversed tens of thousands of miles, slaughtering the heavens, destroying the ages, and destroying the universe. The next moment, the saber light that filled the sky condensed into a natal saber chi with a radius of several meters and a length of several hundred meters. It also contained Xiaohan's mental energy, shining like a pillar. With a whoosh with the speed of light, it suddenly slashed towards Rong. This saber chi cut through the void, killing gods and ghosts, slaying demons and immortals. Its speed surpassed light. The saber chi cut through the sky, indestructible, and shook violently, causing the heavens and earth to resonate. The saber chi cut through the entire hallucinatory demon palace, causing countless illusions to explode. Ashes and smoke dispersed. The hallucinatory demon palace, which was formed purely from the hallucinatory demon realm, had large areas of destruction, showing the smell of fragmentation. The airflow between heaven and earth fluctuated wildly. Where the saber chi vibrated, tornadoes appeared, piercing through the void, destroying all 6 paths. Humans and beasts were not spared. What? Natal saber chi? All of a sudden Rong screamed in shock. His hair stood on end and a chill ran down his spine. Every pore on his body was invaded by the saber chi, making him feel like he had fallen into an ice cellar. In the blink of an eye, Rong activated his life potential. In his third eye, the immortal aura surged like tides. His movements were unbelievably fast. With a slight shake of his body, a shadow was left behind. At the critical moment, he dodged the saber chi that was faster than the speed of light. This dodge seemed simple, but in fact, it consumed Rong Hai's immortal chi. It was almost a life-saving dodge and he was in a sorry state. However, whoosh, then something strange happened. The natal saber chi that Rong had dodged and brushed past him suddenly changed direction. This natal saber chi, as if it had a mind of its own, turned around and slashed towards Rong from behind. One should know that the natal saber chi had been strengthened by Xiaohan's mental energy, which was equivalent to a part of Xiaohan's body. Xiaohan could control it as he pleased, as if it was his own arm. He could change direction at will and turn around at will. It was very mysterious. This time Rong could no longer dodge. Roar. Bastard. Little bastard. Rong let out an unwilling and desperate howl like a wild beast that was on the verge of extinction. The next moment, puff, the natal saber chi swept across Rong's body. Whoosh, 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 The lingering aura of the saber chi swarmed into Xiao Han's sea of consciousness like tired birds returning to their nests. Xiao Han's face was extremely pale, and his eyelids were as heavy as lead. He was on the verge of collapsing. One should know that this slash was aimed at an almost invincible figure. Xiao Han could not be allowed to make any mistake. He must kill him with one strike. Otherwise, there would be endless troubles in the future and he might be killed instead. Therefore, this slash had used up all of Xiao Han's natal saber chi and mental energy to execute this slash with all his might. After this slash, Xiao Han felt as if he was hollowed out and wanted to fall asleep. As for Rong, he stood still and looked at Xiao Han indifferently. What a powerful saber intent. I have never seen such a dazzling sight. Such a brilliant slash. In the sky and on the ground. There shouldn't be such a slash. But I didn't expect. Xiao Han, you actually executed such a slash. It seems that your mental energy is really too terrifying. It's beyond my imagination. So, I really didn't expect a head-on confrontation. I will still die in your hands. Shockingly, I still can't accept this. In this hallucinatory devil palace, I am affected by the interference of the hallucinatory devil realm. My attack power is greatly weakened, causing my battle strength to be less than half of my peak. If we were outside, Xiao Han, you wouldn't be able to kill me? If we were outside, the one who would die would definitely be you. Xiao Han, do you admit it? Oh, Xiao Han shrugged his shoulders. Yes. I admit that if we weren't in this hallucinatory devil palace, even if my saber intent was mighty, I definitely wouldn't be able to kill you. You could kill me with one finger. But, there aren't so many ifs in this world. Winner takes all, loser takes all. Death is death. Winner takes all? Death is death? Rong let out a miserable laugh. Pooh. Immediately after, firecracker-like sounds rang continuously from Tsong Rong's body. In an instant, his body was densely covered with tens of thousands of saber scars. Finally, bang! Rong's body exploded into a pile of minced meat and powder. Even the true chi spirit stones and treasures stored in his true acupoints were all cut and shattered. I finally killed a great figure. It wasn't easy. This great accomplishment saber intent is indeed matchless and invincible. It can even cut the body of a half-immortal. But it consumed too much of my strength. Once Rong died, Xiao Han collapsed from exhaustion and suddenly fell down. However, at this moment, Xiao Han's temperament was even more stable. The true acupoints in his body were even more smooth and flawless. Killing Rong allowed Xiao Han to obtain indescribable accumulation and benefits. 1 hour later, Xiao Han finally let out a sigh of relief. He was not in a hurry to leave this hallucinatory devil palace. Instead, he sat cross-legged and looked down. Both of his hands formed a seal and absorbed the hallucinatory devil realm that was wandering around him to replenish his lost mental strength. At the same time, Xiao Han was also evaluating and concluding. Seriously speaking, it wasn't my natal saber chi that could cut Rong's half-immortal body with one slash. The reason why I killed him so easily was because he did something to my body and locked onto my life aura fluctuation, which consumed some of my energy. Then, I activated the hallucinatory devil realm and blasted it into his sea of consciousness. He had no choice but to consume his immortal chi energy to avoid being possessed by the devil. After all, his consumption was too great. Forget it, I don't care so much. I will take a good rest for a few hours to recover my mental strength and physical strength. Then I will leave this devil palace. After a few days of cultivation in this devil palace, I have gained a lot. It has laid a solid foundation for me to enter the genius zone. Now, I have some capital to compete with the geniuses from other planes. Outside the hallucinatory devil palace. At this moment, the hundreds of evil heroes in Rong's camp were in a state of chaos. And the evil heroes on Xiao Han's side were in a state of shock and speechlessness. What? There's only one exit left? Our many elders, our many evil hero companions and the great Lord Rong, could it be that they will be trapped in the hallucinatory devil palace? Roar. The evil heroes on Rong's side all looked as if they had lost their parents. There's only one exit left. Xiao Mingqiu couldn't help but look worried. This is a little dangerous. I don't know if the last one to come out will it be junior brother Xiao Han? Chapter 453. At this time, outside the hallucinatory devil palace, there was a complete uproar. Especially the people of Rong's side, except for Xiao Han's 5 slaves, all of them were grimacing in pain, scared out of their wits and lost their composure. What's going on? Why is there only one exit left? There are 1,000 exits. Why is it like this? Only a few hundred people have been teleported out from our side in that trash plane. There should be hundreds of exits left. Why is there only one? Is there a mistake? There must be a mistake. Otherwise it's impossible. With Lord Rong's means, he is almost invincible, and all the great elders are powerful figures. The hallucinatory devil palace can't stop them. There must be a mistake. The chivalrous people of Rong's side all screamed at the same time. They couldn't accept the fact that there was only one exit left. Gradually their tone was full of doubt. And Xiao Han's side. Tower Master, if there is only one exit left, there is a mistake in the calculation of the number of people teleported out. 1,000 exits will not disappear automatically. For every person teleported out, there will only be one exit that disappears. Less than 200 people teleported out from our side, and less than 200 people on Rong's side. There should be more than 600 exits left. Could it be that the exit has been destroyed and there is only one left? This is equivalent to breaking the rules of the hallucinatory devil palace. This is against the natural order. An elder said to the Tower Master in fear and trepidation. Suddenly, a few chivalrous people walked over slowly. These few chivalrous people had been kidnapped by Rong as hostages to lure Xiao Han into the trap. One of the chivalrous people lowered his voice and said to the Tower Master, "Tower Master, it's Xiao Han who did it. Xiao Han can destroy the exit. Xiao Han can not only use the hallucinatory devil realm to kill the people on Rong's side, but also, he can destroy the exit unscrupulously. We have stayed in the hallucinatory devil palace for a few days, and we are very clear about these things." Ah? The Tower Master screamed out, and then quickly glanced at the chivalrous people on Rong's side with the corner of his eyes, and quickly fell silent. Then he spoke in a voice so soft that it was almost inaudible. "If that's the case, then, all the elders of the Rong Plain will be buried in the illusory devil palace. There's only one exit left. Even if they are still alive, they won't be able to come out. It's too horrifying. Even I can't calm down. There are so many elders." There were also a few elders who had opened their heaven eyes. Just like that, he died in Xiao Han's hands. What kind of immortal artifact does it have? Within the hallucinatory demon palace. After several hours of recuperation, eating and refining a large amount of hallucinatory magic mirror, Xiao Han's mental energy had already recovered to its original state. His physical strength had also reached its peak. He felt refreshed. Spirit reaches to the rainbow. The only flaw was that his natal saber chi had yet to be completely replenished. The saber strike that killed Xiao Rong nearly drained all of Xiao Han's life saber chi. After several hours of recuperation, Xiao Han's life saber chi had only recovered about 20 to 30%. Xiao Chen's life saber chi recovered rather slowly. "Alright, let's go out. Now that we've dealt with this powerful enemy, I'm sure that the people from our plane will not encounter any more obstacles on the way to the space springboard." Xiao Han stretched his body. He strode forward with large strides towards the last exit. As he walked, he couldn't help but let his mind wander. After reaching the space springboard, we'll be able to teleport to the Genius Zone as we wish. The day of the opening of the Genius Zone is getting closer and closer. I wonder how many influential figures of the planes will gather in the Genius Zone. I wonder what kind of immortal artifacts there are in the Genius Zone. I'm really looking forward to it. Xiao Han was familiar with the way and finally arrived at the last exit. "Get out." Xiao Han no longer hesitated and stepped into the exit. The stable power of spatial teleportation immediately wrapped around Xiao Han and pulled him slightly, causing him to enter the teleportation state. At the same time, the exit began to close and disappear. The entire hallucinatory magic palace. Rumble. 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 Disintegrate. Melt. Dissipate. Collapse. Outside the hallucinatory magic palace, the people of Rong's plane and Xiao Han's plane were clearly divided. They were all discussing among themselves and the situation was rather tense. At this moment, boom, 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 boom. The hallucinatory magic palace not far away collapsed. It turned into many hallucinatory demonic boundaries and completely disintegrated. The sky was filled with auspicious light, beautiful luster and rosy clouds. The huge hallucinatory devil palace seemed like it was about to completely dissipate. What? The hallucinatory magic palace is starting to disintegrate? The heroes of Rong's plane and Xiao Han's plane were shocked by the scene in front of them. At the same time, an auditory hallucination resounded in everyone's ears. The hallucinatory magic palace has been destroyed. 1,000 exits have all disappeared. The hallucinatory magic palace has been destroyed. 1,000 exits have all disappeared. As the auditory hallucination dissipated, the entire hallucinatory magic palace turned into streaks of scattered hallucinatory magic realm and flew in all directions like ribbons. Rong? Lord Rong and the elders? What happened? Where are they? Where are our people? I can't see them. We still have hundreds of people in the Devil Palace. Now that the Devil Palace has been destroyed, why are our people gone? Where did they go? The heroes of Rong's plane were now all screaming in horror. They kept rubbing their eyes and staring at the location of the Devil Palace that had been disintegrated into thousands of strands and was covered with clouds and rosy clouds. They didn't see anyone. They didn't even see a ghost. Oh, Lord Rong. Some of the heroes let out a sorrowful cry, and some evil and ominous premonitions surged in their hearts. And the 5 slaves of Xiao Han were also communicating with each other through spiritual waves. It seems that Master has won a great victory. Let's not talk about Rong for the time being. Now all the great elders and elders should have been killed by Master. Could it be? Could it be that the so-called invincible Rong also died in the hands of Master? Very likely. There is only one exit left, but we can all clearly feel Master's breath of life. Master left an imprint in our souls. If Master meets with an accident, this brand will disappear. But at this moment, the brand that Master planted in our souls is still unforgettable and has not dissipated at all. It can be seen that Master is definitely still alive. If Master is still alive, it is very likely that Rong has already been killed by Master. Master is too strong. I don't know what method he used to kill the insufferably arrogant Rong. And the camp of the heroes of Xiao Han's plane? The hallucinatory demon palace is gone. Where is junior brother Xiao Han? Why don't I see junior brother Xiao Han coming out? Xiao Mingqiu focused his eyes and looked over. For a moment, he did not find a figure coming out of the hallucinatory demon palace that had disappeared. Xiao Han will be fine. A large group of heroes who had received Xiao Han's kindness all shouted in unison. At this moment, boom! The power of space exploded in the chaotic hallucinatory demon realm. Then, a human figure. It gradually appeared. And it quickly stabilized in the space. Someone was teleported out. Yes. However, only one person was teleported out. Yes, it's one person. Why is there only one person? Many heroes of Rong's plane and Xiao Han's plane shouted at the first moment. Phew, I'm finally out. Xiao Han gradually stabilized his body. Then he dusted off the dust on his robe and looked up. He saw the people of his plane not far away. Xiao Han saw big senior brother Xiao Mingqiu, the ancient giant Luo Tianyu, the tower master, the ancient giant Yan Qi, and the familiar faces that he had rescued from the hallucinatory demon palace. All of a sudden Xiao Han felt as if he had been in a different world. Immediately, Xiao Han controlled his true qi and crossed the void, walking towards the camp of his plane. As he walked, Xiao Han's spiritual wave naturally spread out. Suddenly, Xiao Han's body shook. He only felt that his spiritual wave, in this stable space, could actually cover an area of 1,000,000 miles. Within a range of 1,000,000 miles, nothing could escape the detection of Xiao Han's spiritual wave. After leaving the hallucinatory demon palace, Xiao Han's spiritual wave became extremely sharp, and he could observe everything down to the smallest detail. Moreover, he had a feeling of contentment, unrestrained and no longer being restrained by anything. It felt very good. After coming out of the hallucinatory demon palace, my spiritual force no longer suffered any interference or pressure. Naturally, I can release it as I wish. Xiao Han was well aware of this. At this moment in the camp of Xiao Han's plane, many demons, the tower master and many elders had clearly seen Xiao Han. In an instant, cheers and shouts of joy erupted from the camp. The atmosphere was heated and boiling. Xiao Han. It's Xiao Han. Xiao Han is out. Ha ha ha. Our benefactor, in the end, managed to escape from the hallucinatory demon palace unscathed. The only remaining exit was obtained by the young demon with the most potential in our plane, Xiao Han. The hallucinatory demon palace has collapsed. In other words, Rong and those tyrannical elders have all died? And over at Rong's side, there was absolute silence. Each and every one of them felt their hair stand on end, and they were as silent as cicadas in winter. They looked at Xiao Han with their mouths agape and their throats gurgled, but they could not speak. In the next moment, the hallucinatory demon realm that was broken down by the Devil Palace began to evaporate and disappear completely. Rong, Lord Rong. Lord Rong and the elders and many of our companions still haven't come out. Only a young man came out from that trash plane. The Devil Palace is gradually disappearing. Lord Rong and the others, all the demons from Rong's plane were now in a state where they were about to collapse. They had a premonition that something disastrous and terrifying was about to happen. Xiao Han walked to the side of his eldest senior brother, Xiao Mingchu, and laughed loudly. Eldest senior brother, I'm out too. Now we can set off to that space springboard. I think we can still make it in time, right? Xiao Mingchu said in a daze. We can. In the hallucinatory demon palace, 10 days is equivalent to 1 day in the real world. We should hurry to the space springboard now and then teleport to the genius zone. If the journey is smooth, the genius zone will not open before we arrive. Junior brother Xiao Han, where are Rong and the elders of his plane now? Xiao Mingchu's voice was trembling when he asked. All of them have fallen? Xiao Han lowered his voice and said. Hearing this, Xiao Mingchu, Luo Tianyu, and the others almost fainted. At this moment, Xiao Han. Suddenly, the pagoda master led a few elders towards Xiao Han. Their faces were full of joy, but deep in their eye sockets, there was a flame of greed flashing. Xiao Han was stunned. Soon, the pagoda master and the elders surrounded Xiao Han. Xiao Han, you're indeed a young hero. You've made a great contribution for this plane. I know very well that if it wasn't for you, many of our demons would have been trapped in the hallucinatory demon palace. If it wasn't for you holding back Rong and the elders of his plane, once they were teleported out, a one-sided battle would have broken out. We would never be able to defeat the experts of Rong's plane. Xiao Han, this is a first-class contribution. Reward according to your contribution. Don't worry, I will definitely reward you according to your contribution. When this matter in the genius zone is over and we return to this plane, I will definitely reward you greatly. I will make you bring honor to your ancestors. Moreover, the entire Pure Rain sect will also rise to the heavens. I'm just doing my best. Xiao Han casually said. He felt that every move of the pagoda master seemed to have a purpose. It seemed like he was here to reward Xiao Han's merit, but in fact it was not that simple. After a pause, the pagoda master said to Xiao Han in a soft voice. Xiao Han, hand over your immortal artifact. Give it to this plane. Bring benefit to this plane. Chapter 454. Celestial Weapon? Xiao Han was dumbfounded by the pagoda master's words. With a blank expression, he blurted out the question. What celestial weapon? The moment these words left his mouth, one of the 12 elders surrounding Xiao Han, other than the pagoda master, revealed a disdainful and mocking smile on his face as he shouted. All right, Xiao Han, no one here is an outsider, so there's no need to hide anything. Whatever grudges you had in the past, you should let go of them now. When we go out, the demon heroes of our plane from top to bottom should unite as one. We should work together as one. Only then will we be able to overcome the difficulties and cross the river together. Xiao Han, you definitely have an immortal artifact. We are all smart people. Don't pretend to be ignorant. Xiao Han was not a stupid person. When he heard the elder's words, he naturally knew what was going on. All right. This bunch of trash actually thinks I have a celestial weapon so I can sweep through the illusory devil palace. Now they're shameless enough to ask for a celestial weapon from me. They're too shameless. Xiao Han's expression immediately turned cold. Without batting an eyelid, he looked at the pagoda master and the elders. The elder began to speak non-stop. Xiao Han, we all know your cultivation level. We also have a rough idea of your demonic arts and battle prowess. Logically, it's impossible for you to do as you please in the illusory devil palace, kill the people from the wrong realm, break the rules of the illusory devil palace and destroy the exit. I'll be frank. I'm sure you have a celestial weapon. Moreover, it's very likely to be a supreme-grade celestial weapon that can increase one's spiritual energy. What do you think? I'm right? Take it out and contribute it to the realm. What do you think? Another elder joined in and said with a fake smile, That's right. Xiao Han, take out the celestial weapon. Xiao Han, listen to me. I've always been a person of reason and not of kinship. I'm very fair. That's right, Xiao Han, you relied on this immortal artifact to turn the tide and force the Rong plane to retreat again and again. Even the Rong plane itself was probably trapped in the demon palace and died. It was you, Xiao Han, who created such a great achievement. Your hard work and contributions are great, no one can go and erase you. However, a celestial weapon. It was too heaven-defying. Especially in the legends. An immortal artifact that focused on mental power. Its value was immeasurable. With this celestial artifact, our entire plane will transform. From being weak, they had become rich and powerful. However, Xiaohan. To be fair and impartial, things like immortal artifacts are not things that you can control. After all, your cultivation realm is still too low. Opening aperture realm. Your foundation is still lacking. You can't control it. Moreover, an innocent man will get into trouble because of his wealth. Once the secret that you have an immortal artifact in your hands is exposed, you will not be able to escape. I'm afraid you'll be harmed instead. Even your family and sect will be implicated. This kind of immortal artifact can only fall into the hands of our elders' council. Only when it fell into the hands of the pagoda master could it be considered as having an owner. Xiaohan, you're still young. You don't have the tolerance and virtue to control an immortal artifact. Moreover, you're far from being able to unleash the might of an immortal artifact. Xiaohan, think about it. With your cultivation realm and the immortal artifact in your hand, you're already able to defeat Rong and the many elders under him. So, what if you hand this immortal artifact to the pagoda master? With his immortal eye realm and supreme heaven eye realm, what will happen? Another elder said with a trembling voice. His eyes were filled with fanaticism. With the immortal artifact in his hand, the pagoda master will definitely be invincible. He'll conquer countless planes and achieve 1,000 years of hegemony. The 12 elders surrounded Xiaohan and started barking at him. Because the temptation of an immortal artifact was too great. Mortals simply couldn't resist this kind of temptation. It was not an exaggeration to say that the value of an immortal artifact was more valuable than the value of a plane or even several planes combined. Xiaohan, the ancient giant Yanqi, also walked over from afar. The muscles at the corner of his eyes twitched slightly. Xiaohan, previously in the Devil Palace, it's all thanks to you that I was able to escape unscathed. I Yanqi am very grateful to you for this. When we return to the plane, I will definitely repay you. However, the matter of an immortal artifact is not a small matter. It must not be handled carelessly. It concerns the future prosperity of our plane. With this immortal artifact, our competitiveness in the genius zone will definitely increase. Xiaohan, take it out. Give it out. You were born in this plane and grew up in this plane. Your rise today is partly due to your own talent and partly due to the plane's nurturing. Now that you've grown up, you should also nurture the plane. Give the immortal artifact to the pagoda master. Your cultivation realm is too low. It's a waste for the immortal artifact to be in your hands. Moreover, you have many techniques from the demon race. Demons and immortals are like dragons and tigers. The immortal artifact is not beautiful in your hands. Xiaohan, take out the immortal artifact. Xiaohan, take out the immortal artifact. Xiaohan, take out the immortal artifact. For a moment, the 12 elders and the ancient giant Yanqi surrounded Xiaohan and tried to persuade him. All of them sounded as if they were trying to reason with Xiaohan, but in reality, there was a hint of threat in their words. The pagoda master remained silent and looked at Xiaohan with a playful expression. Xiao Mingqiu, Luo Tianyu and the others were pushed to the periphery. For a moment they did not know what was going on. The demons of the Rong plane were petrified. They looked at the hallucinatory demonic palace and the beautiful hallucinatory demonic realm that was gradually dissipating like fireworks. Rong? Lord Rong. Elders? The demons of the Rong plane seemed to be possessed. They murmured in a daze, Rong? Lord Rong. All the elders will definitely come out. They all have half-immortal bodies. They are invincible in the secular world. It's impossible for them to be trapped in the Devil Palace. At this moment, Xiaohan was completely enraged. Xiaohan was besieged by the Tower Master and a group of elders, all of whom were asking for the so-called immortal treasure. This caused his blood to boil, and his face to flush with excitement. This was simply too much. If it was not for Xiaohan, most of the demons of this plane, including Yanqi, would have died in the hallucinatory demonic palace. It was impossible for them to survive. Now Xiaohan had saved the entire plane with his own strength. After coming out, not only did he not treat them with sincerity, but he even schemed against each other and wanted a foot when given an inch. Even a clay figurine would have some anger. Let alone Xiaohan, who had always been unrestrained. Right now Xiaohan was completely enraged. His heart was filled with rage and his killing intent was wild and violent. Ha ha ha. Suddenly Xiaohan laughed maniacally out of anger. Celestial artifact? Celestial artifact? How ridiculous. Let's not talk about whether I, Xiaohan, have a celestial artifact or not. Even if I do, what right do you have to demand it from me? Idiot. They actually created such a big scene to coerce and bribe me. You really repay kindness with evil. Ask yourselves, if it was not for me, Xiaohan, taking responsibility, would all of you still be alive? You would have been killed by Rong. Now you dare to show off in front of me. Money moves people's hearts. Even antiques like you who have cultivated for tens of thousands of years cannot avoid greed. However, you are too stupid. Celestial artifacts are heaven-defying, and the value of any celestial artifact is unimaginable. It is even related to the important matter of becoming an immortal. Since that is the case, why should I, Xiaohan, hand over the celestial artifact to you for nothing? Do you really think that I, Xiaohan, am 3 years old? All of you get lost. Get lost far away. Are all of your heads clamped by a door? Get lost. Xiaohan actually began to curse in public. This was intolerable. The scolding caused the elders to be dumbfounded. They had been in high positions in this plane for a long time, and they had never been scolded by the demons of this plane. Even the pagoda master rarely spoke ill of them. This was the first time they were scolded by a young boy in front of them. Get lost. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless. Xiaohan scolded coldly, then narrowed his eyes and looked at Yan Qi. Yan Qi, you get lost too. I saved your dog life, and you still dare to be so noisy in front of me? Get lost. Otherwise you won't even know how you died. Xiaohan's words seemed to have frozen the entire place. The originally blue and calm space suddenly felt a chill run down the spines of the elders, Yan Qi and the rest. A murderous aura lingered around each of them. Finally, an elder with bulging veins on his face roared with a murderous aura and an ominous glint in his eyes. How dare you? Xiaohan. How dare you? You evil creature. All along you have been ignorant and incompetent. You secretly colluded with the demons and learned their skills. Let's not talk about that. Last time at the Yinxia Tower, you fought and killed countless innocent demons. You have no respect for the law. Just this crime alone is enough to exterminate your entire clan. However, the heavens have the virtue of cherishing life. You should have exterminated your entire clan with no luck. However, the elders and the pagoda master were magnanimous and pardoned you. They even gave you the right to go to the genius zone. Not only did you not feel grateful and contribute to the plane, but you were also overbearing. Instead, you were aggressive. You have a celestial artifact. Hand it over now because you are a sinner. Only by handing over the celestial artifact can you make up for your sins. I will kill you all. Finally, Xiaohan's murderous intent exploded without restraint. His blood was boiling, and his murderous intent could not be suppressed. Ah! Xiaohan, we know a thing or two about that celestial artifact of yours. Your cultivation realm is too low. Therefore, you can only use the celestial artifact and use the hallucinatory demonic realm to make people lose their minds and kill themselves. However, this huge space is very calm, and there is no sign of the hallucinatory demonic realm. You even said that you would kill us? What an idiot. After being humiliated by Xiaohan, Yan Qi's eyes turned ferocious. He completely forgot about Xiaohan's kindness and roared, "The celestial artifact is invincible, but it is restricted in your hands. Without the hallucinatory demonic realm, you can't use the celestial artifact at all. You still want to kill us? Let's see how you are going to kill us." Chapter 455. Xiaohan did not expect that after he left the hallucinatory demon palace, before he had the chance to clash with the remnants of the Rong plane, he would fall out with the higher-ups of his plane. However, Xiaohan did not plan to feign civility. After the training in the hallucinatory demon palace, Xiaohan's heart was no longer the same as before. It was extremely tenacious. Moreover, he had cultivated the extinguishing sky and earth mental technique to the 19th set of mental finger techniques. His saber intent had soared, and the power of his natal saber chi could cut through ghosts and gods and destroy all living things. He also had a supreme demonic technique. All these made Xiaohan fearless. He was confident that he could deal with the elders and even the pagoda master. Moreover, Xiaohan knew that the pagoda master and the elders were all clones. Their real bodies were still suppressed in the Yaoxia pagoda. In terms of true battle power, in a stable space, without the hallucinatory demonic realm to use, Xiaohan believed that he was not a match for the tower master at his peak. He was also not a match for these elders. However, this was referring to their true bodies. Xiaohan still had some confidence in dealing with their clones. In his sea of consciousness, the natal saber chi in the liquid mind power planet had recovered by 40%. Yan Chi, you're just a level 9 true chi cultivator. How dare you jump out here? You're courting death. Do you know? Since you keep saying that you want me to kill you, then come out and face me. See if I dare to kill you or not. I don't care if I can kill you or not. Xiao Han no longer had any apprehensions. The evil heroes around him, such as Xiao Mingqiu and Luo Tianyu, did not know what was going on. They wanted to intervene but did not know what to do. Yan Qi was furious. He was about to step out and fight Xiao Han. At this moment, shut up. The pagoda leader's voice could finally be heard as he took a step forward. His face was filled with a dignified and righteous aura. All of you be polite to Xiao Han. Yan Qi, you said that if it wasn't for Xiao Han, you would have died in the hallucinatory demon palace. How dare you disrespect Xiao Han? You're too presumptuous. Yes, the pagoda master is right, Yan Qi said. And you guys? The pagoda master glanced at the 12 elders. Xiao Han's contributions to this realm are greater than his mistakes. I have already forgiven him for his mistakes in front of the demon hero pagoda. Now you are bringing up the past again. How absurd. Listen up, from now on, if anyone dares to criticize or offend Xiao Han, this seat will not forgive them. That's right, the celestial artifact belonged to Xiao Han. No one had the right to covet or take it away from him. An immortal artifact is so precious. There's no reason for Xiao Han to give it up for nothing. Ta Ming's impassioned speech rendered the 12 elders speechless. Xiao Han, don't be angry. The immortal artifact is yours. There is no doubt about that. With that, the pagoda master looked at Xiao Han with a pleasant expression. As for Xiao Han, he didn't think much of it. TSK, the 12 elders played the bad cop, and the pagoda master came out to play the bad cop. Ah, what a joke. However, do you think I, Xiao Han, am someone you can fool? Xiao Han, what do you think about this? We are currently in the vast universe. The journey to the genius zone is very difficult and full of thorns. It's hard to predict whether we will be lucky or not when we reach the genius zone. The pagoda master looked at Xiao Han sincerely. Xiao Han, lend me the celestial artifact temporarily. The power of this celestial artifact in my hands will definitely be extraordinary. Xiao Han, don't worry. I'm only borrowing it temporarily. I'll definitely return it to you. How about this, Xiao Han? When your true chi cultivation base improves again so that you can control this celestial artifact perfectly, I'll return it to you. What do you think? Xiao Han was completely speechless after hearing the pagoda master's words. Borrow? He's trying to find a way to ask for it. Shameless beyond belief. Shameless beyond belief. In a split second, Xiao Han's mind was filled with many thoughts. It seems like these elders and the pagoda master have made up their minds to covet the so-called celestial artifact in my possession. Threats, promises, and all kinds of methods are endless. If I refuse them, I'll be entangled with them along the way. Now that I'm going to the genius zone, I can't possibly kill all of them and go there alone, can I? If that's the case, I might not even be able to get a place to enter the genius zone. That surname Su'a will use a thunderous method to kill one of them in front of everyone to make an example out of them. Establishing prestige. A thought emerged in his mind. Kill to establish prestige. However, at this moment, that young man. Suddenly, hundreds of demons from the wrong plane shouted at Xiao Han at the same time. Then they swarmed towards him like a swarm of bees. How dare you! Some of the demons from Xiao Han's plane immediately got into formation and confronted them. Are you going to humiliate and bully us? Xiao Mingqiu and Luo Tianyu took a step forward together. Pagoda master? The 12 elders looked displeased. However, they did not act rashly. Then they looked at the pagoda master with inquiring eyes. Pagoda master, none of the elders from the wrong plane are left. They are just a group of demons. There are not many at the 9th level of true chi. Most of them are at the 8th level of true chi. If they truly dare to reach for a yard after taking an inch, we'll seize this opportunity to massacre them too. Several elders said, becoming restless. That's right. Without the wrong plane and dozens of elders, there were less than 200 demons. With the pagoda master here, Xiao Han's plane could still control the situation. Thus, these elders were fearless. Of course, if the other party had wrong plane, these elders could only tuck their tails between their legs. However, the pagoda master quickly glanced at Xiao Han and immediately said in a low voice, "Don't act rashly. Let's see what they want." Soon, the survivors of the wrong plane, nearly 200 Yao Xia, flew over and formed a camp. One of the leaders, who was at the 9th level of true Qi, pointed at Xiaohan. "Young man, come out. We have something to ask you." "Oh?" Xiaohan's expression changed. He could not help but lick his lips. "I just wanted to kill someone to establish my dominance. I didn't expect that someone would come to me eagerly. It's really a pillow when I'm sleepy." As his thoughts flashed, Xiaohan did not say anything. Instead, he directly strode over with arrogance. "Junior brother Xiaohan." Xiao Mingqiu wanted to follow closely behind. The dozens of demons who had received Xiaohan's kindness also wanted to walk out with Xiaohan. Unexpectedly, Xiaohan waved his hand, indicating for everyone to not move. For some unknown reason, after coming out of the hallucinatory demon palace, Xiaohan's every move was deeply dignified. Even his every expression seemed to have formed a climate. With such a wave of his hand, Xiao Mingqiu and the others immediately stood still. Xiaohan leisurely walked towards the remaining demons from the Rong plane and smiled faintly. "What? You have something to ask me? Young man, where's our Lord Rong? Where's our elders? Where are our fiendish hero companions?" Quite a few of the 9th level true Qi fiendish heroes shouted in unison. Their tone was filled with fear, uneasiness, fear, shock, and an inexplicable anger. They finally could not hold it in any more. After waiting for a long time, there was no news from their side. In the end, they did not wait for Rong and the elders to come out. Instead, they waited for the entire hallucinatory demon palace to disappear bit by bit. This caused them to directly target the last person to come out of the hallucinatory demon palace, Xiaohan. They directly came up to interrogate. Moreover, boom, nearly 200 demons moved in unison. They spread out and surrounded Xiaohan. Seeing this situation, Xiao Mingqiu and the other demons were all furious and wanted to rush up. Suddenly, the Tower Master waved his right hand. An invisible force field shook, causing the demons who were about to rush up to be frozen, unable to move an inch. "Don't act rashly. Don't kill. This time the celestial world has a decree. Before entering the genius zone, all ordinary planes are not allowed to kill each other. Everyone should value peace," the Tower Master said with a faint smile. Then he looked at Xiaohan with a thought-provoking gaze. A wisp of spiritual sound was transmitted into Xiaohan's sea of consciousness without a sound. "Xiaohan, now that Rong is dead, these people are without a leader. You are the last person to come out of the hallucinatory demon palace, so you are the most suspicious. They have lost their rationality and will definitely torture you. Although you have a celestial artifact, there is no hallucinatory demon realm for you to use. The demons surrounding you are at the 8th level true Qi, and some are even at the 9th level true Qi. Some of them have very strong foundations and their combat power is several times more terrifying than Yan Qi's. I'm afraid you won't be able to handle them. How about it? Give in. As long as you agree to lend me the celestial artifact, I will immediately help you eliminate these people." Xiaohan did not even look at the Tower Master. He lazily narrowed his eyes and glanced around at the chivalrous men surrounding him. His lips curled into an arrogant and disdainful smile. "You guys are, really idiots? How dare you ask such an idiotic question? If you want to escape from this hallucinatory demon palace, you can only go through the internal exit. Now, the exit has completely disappeared, and the hallucinatory demon palace has collapsed. Your Lord Rong, your elders, and your companions are all dead. This is obvious, and you still want to ask me? Idiots. Roar." As soon as they heard Xiaohan's words, the group of demons burst into howls, as if they were mourning for their parents. All of them were scared out of their wits, and their mournful cries were earth-shattering. "That's impossible. How could Lord Rong die? Lord Rong is the spiritual leader of our plane. He is an immortal who is destined to become an immortal in the future. How could he die? Without Master Rong, this plane of ours is finished. It's all over. Without Lord Rong and the elders, we will be invaded by the demon race sooner or later. Our entire plane is in danger." The crowd was howling. The next moment, "Little bastard, how did you manage to find the last exit? Why is our great and immortal Lord Rong buried in that damned hallucinatory demon palace? Little bastard, you deserve to die. Why is it that a trashy acupoint expansion realm like you, a half-cripple, can come out of the hallucinatory demon realm alive and well, while our Supreme Lord Rong met with misfortune? The heavens are unfair. Little bastard, you deserve to die." These demons did not suspect that Xiaohan was the culprit behind the massacre of Lord Rong and the elders. However, when they lost control of their emotions, they naturally had to find someone to vent their anger on. Xiaohan had become their target. Close to 200 demons stared at Xiao Han with blood-red eyes. Their killing intent was extremely violent. This Xiao Han, under normal circumstances he would never be a match for these crazy fellows. Yan Qi revealed an expression of schadenfreude. The 12 elders also nodded and smiled. Right now he must beg for the pagoda master's help. Otherwise he will be killed instantly and dismembered. Xiao Han, hurry up and beg me. Otherwise you might be dismembered. The pagoda master smiled and sent a telepathic message. It seemed that he had Xiao Han in his grasp. However, suddenly Xiao Han laughed bitterly and said indifferently, "All of you are noisy in front of me. Do you know that you are courting death? Ah, I have been provoked and I have nowhere to vent my anger. Since all of you are here to court death, I will fulfill your wish." Suddenly the saber aura around Xiao Han's body rose. The next moment, boom, a natal saber chi that looked like an evil dragon soared into the sky from Xiao Han's sea of consciousness. The saber light was brilliant and unparalleled. All of a sudden the natal saber chi exploded, split, and turned into a light screen that looked like a fishing net. It shone brilliantly and directly swept in all directions. Po, 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 po. Other than 5 slaves, the 200 demons that surrounded Xiao Han were all cut into pieces by the saber net. Powder. Densely packed minced meat splattered everywhere. The smell of blood covered the sky. There were tens of millions of pieces of corpses and meat. "I said that you are courting death. You are courting death," Xiao Han said lightly. For a moment the scene was silent. To be continued. Chapter 456. Xiao Han activated the Great Success Realm Natal Saber Chi and added it with his supreme mental power. With one slash, all the remaining evil heroes on the Rong Plain, except for his 5 slaves, were killed. They were cut into pieces by the Saber Chi. Moreover, Xiao Han felt that killing outside was especially satisfying, unlike in the hallucinatory demon palace, which was full of restrictions. He could do as he pleased. Sweep away everything. However, this slash also consumed 30% of the natal Saber Chi, leaving only 10% of the natal Saber Chi in Xiao Han's sea of consciousness. Of course, this slash also played the role of killing people to establish his prestige. Now, the many elders who were clamoring at the beginning, as well as the pagoda master and Yan Qi, all had their throats choked. They breathed rapidly and did not say a word, staring at Xiao Han with bulging eyes. Xiao Han's 5 slaves knew what was good for them and immediately knelt on the ground. They kept quiet out of fear and said in fear, "Spare us. Please spare us. We are willing to serve you as our master for the rest of our lives." Xiao Han waved his hand. "Get up." The master and the servants also put on a little act. The 5 slaves stood up and obediently stood behind Xiao Han with their hands down. Xiao Han turned around and used his indifferent eyes to sweep over the pagoda master and the others. The corner of his mouth pulled into a provocative and arrogant smile. "Pagoda master, are you only satisfied when the fish dies and the net splits?" Xiao Han, this. At this moment the pagoda master was even a little incoherent. One slash to kill 100 people and kill many people at the 9th level of true chi, directly killing them. This is the Great Success Realm Saber intent, and your mental power is ridiculously strong. Xiao Han, you have actually grown to this level. This. The 12 elders also looked at Xiao Han bitterly. They did not expect Xiao Han to be so strong. His methods were so violent, in an instant he killed the remaining evil heroes on the Rong Plain. They were all killed. Too powerful, this Great Success Realm Saber intent is almost perfect. It's almost perfect? One of the elders sighed in admiration. "Xiao Han, I also cultivate the Tao of Saber. However, your saber intent can directly suppress my saber intent. I'm not your match. The younger generation will surpass us in time. The younger generation will surpass us in time." The elder's face showed a desolate expression. He shook his hand. "I won't mention the matter of the immortal artifact. I won't mention it again." These elders all looked at Xiao Han in horror. In the depths of the eye sockets of a few of the elders, a ruthless expression gradually appeared on his face as he looked at Xiao Han with a murderous look. Tower Master Xiao Han's lifeblood saber energy is indeed powerful. It was grand and majestic, sweeping through the world. However, although his life saber chi was invincible, it was not inexhaustible. On the contrary, the lifeblood saber energy is stored in the soul sea of the saber user. Every time it is killed, it will consume a lot of energy. This Xiao Han killed 100 lives with one slash just now. I think he must have consumed a lot of energy. Why don't we take this opportunity to suppress him? We have completely fallen out with Xiaohan. With Xiaohan's temperament, it will be very difficult for him to let us go in the future. Moreover, the speed of his growth is too heaven-defying. We are all old antiques who have seen countless people. In our lifetime, we have also witnessed the rise of countless geniuses. But now, looking at the history of the entire plane, all the so-called outstanding geniuses, the so-called heaven-bestowed geniuses, in front of Xiaohan, are all just a joke. Xiaohan was the true genius who had surpassed all of us since ancient times. Not only does his talent surpass our plane, even if he goes to other planes he will also be a monstrous existence. His combat strength is changing every day. This time Xiaohan almost destroyed the entire plane with his own strength. Tower Master, we can't control this kid. I suggest that we kill him while he is still young and not completely powerful. Moreover, he has consumed a lot of his lifeblood saber energy. Let's kill him. Huh? The Tower Master stared at Xiaohan. A strange light flashed in his eyes as he fell into deep thought. Xiaohan understood the meaning of this. His expression did not change as he looked at the Tower Master with a faint smile. Tower Master, do you want to use force? Ah, why don't you try? Shio, shio, shio. Wisps of lifeblood saber energy rose from the top of Xiaohan's head, creating hair-like cracks in the space. At the same time, Xiaohan glanced at the group of elders with murderous eyes. In his eyes, the saber light and the sword shadow made the elders' eyes hurt. Their skin turned cold as if they were being cut by the sharp edge of a saber. It was so creepy that they lowered their heads and felt a chill in the depths of their hearts. Soon, a few other elders also sent a soul message to the Tower Master. Tower Master, we must not make things difficult for Xiaohan anymore. Tower Master, in the hallucinatory Devil Palace, many of the evil heroes have received favors from Xiaohan. If we forcefully suppress Xiaohan, it will definitely arouse public anger. Moreover, Xiaohan's methods are too fierce and domineering. He can already kill a 9th-level True Qi expert. With such a demonic talent, if he enters the genius zone he will definitely fight for immortal treasures for the plane. Right now, the most important thing is to win over Xiaohan, not to suppress him. Tower Master, please reconsider. Hearing this, the Tower Master glanced at the evil heroes of his plane and then looked at Xiaohan again. Then he laughed and said, "Good. Xiaohan, you have risen. You have completely risen. You will become a great force of our plane. Your future is limitless. Now that you have the ability to control and protect that immortal treasure, I will not ask for it. You can keep the immortal treasure for yourself." Good Xiaohan, you are very good. Ah, well said. Xiaohan laughed coldly. In his heart he felt a little more relaxed. Right now, Xiaohan's focus was on the genius zone. He did not want to bother with the Tower Master and the other bastards. His first task was to rush to the genius zone and enter the genius zone to search for immortal treasures. Therefore, even though they were in the same bed, Xiaohan could only pretend to be courteous for the time being. Of course, the premise was that the Tower Master and the others did not go too far. If they took an inch and wanted a foot, Xiaohan could only draw his sword against them. Good, let's continue. This Tower Master was unusually thick-skinned. Now, he acted as if nothing had happened and was amiable to Xiaohan. Xiaohan, let's go. We still need about 150 days to reach the space springboard. After passing through the hallucinatory Devil Palace, we should be able to deal with the dangers along the way. Let's go. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The Tower Master led the way and flew in the air. The 12 elders followed closely behind. The evil heroes. All of them followed the Tower Master and flew. The large group of people set off again. Their goal was the space springboard that could transport them to the genius zone. Xiaohan still flew side by side with his eldest senior brother, Xiao Mingqiu, calmly. The 5 devil hero slaves hung far behind in a humble manner. Damn it. At this moment Xiao Mingqiu was also indignant. His eyes were filled with anger. Junior brother Xiaohan. The pagoda master and the elders had gone too far. You have made great contributions to the plane, but they are suppressing and bullying you like this. It's really despicable. Heh, Xiaohan smiled indifferently. It's okay. Eldest senior brother, seriously speaking, the weak are prey to the strong in this world. However, in the face of benefits the Tower Master and the others just did not hide it. Eldest senior brother, don't be angry. I just want to enter the genius zone and look for immortal opportunities. As long as they don't go too far I can bear it. The big picture is the most important. Yes. Xiao Mingqiu took a deep look at Xiaohan before repeatedly nodding his head. Junior brother Xiaohan, Your current temperament and spirit are like two different people. You're like a different person now. You have a supreme state of mind that is neither sad nor happy. If the sect master knew about your current situation, he would be very pleased. Junior brother Xiaohan, pretend to be polite to those bastards for now. However, if you're in the genius zone, remember to hold back. Otherwise, the tower master and the others will kill you after you've outlived your usefulness. I know, Xiaohan said with a smile. Suddenly, Xiaohan. Yan Qi actually dilly-dallied and flew to Xiaohan's side. His face was filled with grievance and fear. His eyes were filled with regret. Xiaohan, just my quarrel with you I was impulsive. I hope you don't mind. I'm here to apologize to you. Yan Qi was indeed regretful. Initially, he had thought Xiaohan's battle prowess was all due to the celestial weapon and the hallucinatory devil stage. He did not expect Xiaohan's natal saber chi to be so tyrannical and invincible. Earlier, when Xiaohan killed 100 people with a single slash, he had also killed many 9th-level True Energy Realm martial artists from the Rong realm. It could be said that any of the 9th-level True Energy Realm martial artists who died under that slash were stronger than Yan Qi. In that case, it would be as easy as blowing off dust for Xiaohan to kill Yan Qi. Like picking up grass. Therefore, Yan Qi could only suffer in silence. His heart was filled with regret. He blamed himself for contradicting Xiaohan just now. Get lost, Xiaohan did not even look at Yan Qi. Brother Xiaohan, you must forgive me. Yan Qi was filled with grief. Brother Xiaohan, it was indeed an unintentional mistake. Xiaohan's eyes focused on Yan Qi. You're a despicable person who goes back on his word. You don't even have a backbone. Get lost now or I'll kill you with one slash. Get lost. Xiao Mingqiu scolded while gnashing his teeth. To Xiao Mingqiu, scolding a powerhouse was a pleasant thing to do. Advance. The large group of people advanced toward the space springboard. They were also very careful along the way. It was a 150-day journey, and no one could predict if there would be any dangers along the way. However, just as the pagoda master had said, after passing through the hallucinatory demon palace, the journey was actually quite easy. Occasionally, there would be some hallucinatory demon realms appearing in the space. The density of the realms wasn't too high, and it wouldn't cause them to experience hallucinations or hallucinations that would cause them to fall into a trance. Everyone could handle it. Even if they encountered a slightly larger hallucinatory demonic realm, they would be able to avoid it. 120 days had passed. It was a smooth journey. 0 casualties. Ha! We'll reach the space springboard in 30 days. After that, we'll be teleported to the Genius Zone. The Genius Zone hasn't opened yet. There's still time, haha, there's still time. The pagoda master burst into laughter. The 120-day journey was extremely smooth. This also made many of the devil warriors and elders calm down. They were not as nervous and fearful as when they first set off. 140th day. Eldest senior brother, there are still 10 days left. Xiaohan smiled and chatted with Xiao Mingqiu. The Genius Zone is getting closer and closer to us. Xiao Mingqiu was also excited. I wonder what the situation in the Genius Zone is like. There are so many experts from different planes heading to the Genius Zone this time. I'm very nervous, especially after experiencing the disturbance from Rong's group of strong disciples. I feel even more helpless. Our plane is really too weak. That's right, junior brother Xiaohan. Don't let your guard down too much in case you encounter any danger during the last 10 days of the journey. It's fine. Xiaohan's spiritual force spread out and radiated millions of miles of area, monitoring at all times. Eldest senior brother, this large area is close to 10 million miles. It's very safe. Now, the natal saber chi in Xiaohan's sea of consciousness had also recovered to its original state. This gave Xiaohan more confidence to face all kinds of dangers calmly. 145th day. And? Suddenly, Xiaohan's expression froze. Junior brother Xiaohan, what's wrong? Xiao Mingqiu hurriedly asked. I discovered a large number of humans coming from all directions. They're flying in the same direction as us. My spiritual force sensed countless experts. 8th stage True Chi, 9th stage True Chi, and 10th stage True Chi Immortal Eye Realm. Xiaohan's face was cold. Eldest senior brother, we've encountered the devil warriors from other planes. However, it's not just one wave. There are at least 10 waves of people from different planes. Chapter 457. Xiao Han and the others were still 5 days away from the space springboard they had chosen in advance. Of course, this space springboard was definitely not only chosen by Xiao Han's plane. There were bound to be a large number of planes that chose this space springboard. Therefore, now that Xiao Han's mental fluctuations had spread out, it was not surprising at all that he had discovered at least a dozen groups of people from different planes. What? More than a dozen waves of powerful people from different planes? Hearing this, Xiao Mingqiu was slightly stunned, and a look of horror immediately appeared in the depths of his eyes. Luo Tianyu, who was standing next to Xiao Mingqiu, was also trembling. That's right. They were almost annihilated by Rongyu, which made the fiendish heroes of Xiao Han's dimension feel like they had been bitten by a snake. Every one of them became frightened. When they heard that there were people from other dimensions approaching, they were instinctively frightened. Xiao Han did not take it seriously. Instead, he smiled and comforted them. Eldest senior brother, Brother Luo, don't be nervous. There are many planes going to the Genius Zone, and we will meet people from other planes sooner or later. Not every plane's people are as cruel and sinister as Na Rong. After a pause, Xiao Han's spirit wave spread out like an octopus and said, "They are approaching us. East, northwest, south, southeast. The evil heroes from those planes will find us within an hour. Eldest senior brother, Brother Luo, if there is any sudden change and we have a dispute with the evil heroes from other planes, I will remember to take you into the demon compound of despair." Xiao Han said with a smile. "I'm going to encounter the endless geniuses from other planes? I don't know why. I actually have a little bit of expectation and excitement now." Inexplicably, Xiao Han's blood was slightly boiling. The liquid spiritual power planet in his sea of consciousness, as well as the great accomplishment natal saber chi, all transmitted obscure fluctuations. Compared to when he had just set off, Xiao Han's current state of mind, he was more stable and more confident. Every cell in his body was filled with the desire to explore the unknown. Every cell in his body was filled with indomitable courage. At this time, the Pagoda Master and the 12 Elders, their spiritual power was far less than Xiao Han's, so they had not found anything unusual for the time being. Xiao Han was too lazy to inform the Pagoda Master and the others. An hour later, alert! Suddenly, the Tower Master's figure stopped, and he let out a panicked scream. "Everyone pay attention. Be on alert. More than 10 groups of heroes from other planes are rushing towards us." What? More than 10 batches of heroes from other planes? The elders also lost their composure. Their cries rang out one after another. Each and every one of them was usually swaggering around arrogantly. But now he was also exhausted and listless. "What should we do? Pagoda Master, what do we do now?" "All right. Calm down." The Pagoda Master's face was also gloomy. "This is the only way to get to the space springboard. There will definitely be many demons passing through this path. They might not necessarily make things difficult for us. Calm down. Everyone calm down. Later on, when we encounter other demons from other planes, we should all be polite and not take the initiative to provoke trouble. You should be fine." After saying that, the Pagoda Master waved his hand and suppressed the situation. "Let's just focus on moving forward, don't make a fuss. Keep going." The army continued to advance. However, there were many demons. They all took the initiative to approach Xiao Han. It seemed like they wanted to seek some protection. It was almost a subconscious action. After the battle in the hallucinatory Devil Palace, these demons had subconsciously regarded Xiao Han as their protector. Half an hour later at last. Boom, boom, boom. In the east there was a tremor. A sound that caused even the starry sky to tremble rang out. A tall and burly man with immortal chi all over his body slowly walked over. There was a faint mark between his eyebrows. He had no one in his eyes and his aura soared to the sky. He was like an abyss and a mountain, and his every movement was full of the demeanor of an important person. Looking at his spirit and bearing, he was even slightly stronger than that of Na Rong. "Ah, my children, after a long journey and passing through many dangerous places, we are finally on the right track and have arrived here. There are only a few days left before we reach the nearest space springboard." "Ah." The tall and burly man laughed heartily. His voice rumbled and shook the entire void, causing it to sway and tremble. In the next moment, a dense group of young people and some elders walked out from behind the tall and burly man. These people's bodies were sparkling and the wind was surging. Regardless of whether they were men or women, they were all in high spirits. Their eyes overflowed with unconcealable confidence and ambition. 8th level true chi, 9th level true chi, and every one of them had an incomparably strong foundation. This. The pagoda master's footsteps involuntarily stopped, and he looked to the east with palpitations. His throat was dry as he murmured, "What a powerful plane. Our plane. It's hard to compete with it." In an instant, the pagoda master's gaze swept over the dozens of demons in his plane, and subconsciously felt that they were asking to be humiliated. He had no confidence at all. The 12 elders were also very dispirited. The demons were overshadowed. Even Xiao Mingqiu, who was always ambitious and neither servile nor overbearing, shook his head secretly. In the entire plane, only Xiao Han's state of mind was calm and unperturbed. He was neither servile nor overbearing, and his expression was calm. Instead, he looked at the wave of demons with interest and secretly evaluated them. Those younger ones are those who are below 10,000 years old and have met the requirements to enter the genius zone. Indeed, the demons in our plane can't be compared to them. For example, my eldest senior brother Xiao Mingqiu, who is less than 10,000 years old, has cultivated to the 8th level true Qi formation realm. He has been a genius since he was young, but if he is brought to that plane he will not be able to stand. His strength and talent will definitely be at the bottom. The difference? In other words, after entering the genius zone, I will have to compete with these guys. I really am looking forward to it. Xiao Han couldn't help but touch his nose. Roar! Roar! The roar of giant beasts resounded. In the next moment, from the northwest direction, many wild beasts that looked like giant elephants broke through the void and came over. The domineering and savage aura shook the heavens and the earth. Hundreds of giant elephant savage beasts. They got into formation. The leader was a giant elephant with brightly colored fur. Riding on it was a middle-aged man wrapped in a beast robe. He had a square face. His hair was messy, and as he breathed in and out, immortal qi sprayed out. His entire body was filled with evil qi. He was emitting evil, powerful, violent, sinister, and even murderous aura at all times. The aura of darkness. On the giant elephant savage beast behind him, there were young men and women. All of them were wearing beast robes and had a fierce look in their eyes. They were very fierce. As soon as they appeared, they used provocative gazes to scan the surroundings. When they noticed the camp of Xiao Han's plane, they all burst into laughter. They were pointing fingers. The heroes of Xiao Han's plane were all very ashamed. They were too ashamed to show their faces. They lowered their heads and their aura was very timid. They had no confidence at all. Soon, in this space, from all directions, the people of the heroes of the plains had arrived. There were too many geniuses. The aura that they emitted overlapped, causing the surrounding space to faintly distort. Including Xiao Han's plane, there were a total of 19 people of the heroes of the plains gathered. The total number of people was tens of thousands. These people were either arrogant and unruly, or cold and gloomy, or murderous and fierce, or lazy and tranquil, or arrogant, so on and so forth. And the heroes of the various planes were now observing and evaluating the strength of the heroes of the other planes. Of course, among these 19 planes, not all were stronger than Xiao Han's plane. There were also some that were on par with Xiao Han's plane. There were even a few planes whose comprehensive strength was slightly inferior to Xiao Han's plane. For example, Xiao Han saw a plane with only 30 to 40 heroes, and most of them were in the 6th stage expanded acupoint realm. In this way, from the pagoda master to the heroes of Xiao Han's plane, they felt a little comforted. At least their plane was not at the bottom, right? Xiao Han did not pay too much attention to the weak planes. Instead, he focused his attention on the powerful planes. Judging from their appearances, Xiao Han discovered that the geniuses from the powerful existential planes all exuded a sense of pride from the inside out. The pride that belonged to the geniuses and loneliness and hot-bloodedness. More than 10 planes, nearly 10,000 geniuses. These powerful planes each have a large number of talented people. Who knows how many outstanding people have emerged? Now the sand is washed away by the waves. Those who are selected to enter the genius zone are definitely not weak. Moreover, the number of the heroes who entered the genius zone is far more than this. These planes that I see now are just one of the many space springboards. There will also be a large number of planes entering other space springboards. It's just the tip of the iceberg. What I see now is really just the tip of the iceberg. After officially entering the genius zone, I will see more and more geniuses. Without a doubt, some of these geniuses have had fortuitous encounters. Just like me, a heavenly opportunity fell upon me. Some are extremely talented. Maybe their acupoints have expanded thousands of times. Some have met a good master and have been nurtured since young. Some have the heart of a strong person and never admit defeat. Seriously speaking, these guys are all my competitors. Xiao Han licked his lips. The people of the 19 planes gathered together. After a long while, a middle-aged man with the demeanor of an immortal said in a clear voice, "We're all heroes of the human race. Although we come from different planes, we're all the same. We're all responsible for killing demons and saving the common people. Alright, there's not much time left before the opening of the Genius Zone. Let's go to the nearest space springboard first. I also hope that the Tower Masters will restrain their subordinates and not cause trouble to other planes. Follow the decree of the immortal world. Peace is the most important. Don't fight against each other. Men of this plane, follow me." Xiao. As soon as he finished speaking, the middle-aged man with the demeanor of an immortal moved and flew forward. His subordinates followed closely behind him. Just like that, a large group of people from different planes flew towards the direction of the space springboard. "Let's hurry up as well." The Tower Master sighed. "Eldest senior brother, let's go." Xiao Han also moved forward. "I'm afraid we will encounter more planes when we reach the space springboard. It's getting more and more interesting." Chapter 458. Ever since he left his hometown and headed for the Genius Zone, time flew by, and it had been over 200 days. Xiao Han and the others did not have a smooth journey. On the contrary, they had experienced many obstacles and dangers. When they encountered the wrong plane, they were almost wiped out. With Xiao Han's help, this mediocre plane was able to advance to where it was today. Xiao, the densely packed chivalrous heroes of different camps flew toward the space gangplank. There are less than 5 days left. Xiao Han flew at the back of the group. TSK. Junior brother Xiao Han. There are too many geniuses. My eyes are filled with geniuses. I was really a frog in a well when I was in my own plane. Sigh, there are so many geniuses and so many planes. In comparison, I feel like I'm just a speck of dust. Xiao Mingqiu said sadly. Eldest senior brother, don't be disheartened. Do you still remember the chivalry trials? Xiao Han laughed. Chivalry trials? Xiao Mingqiu was stunned. Yes. Xiao Han nodded affirmatively. Eldest senior brother, we've all been through the chivalry trials. In fact, to stand out in the chivalry trials, strength is one thing, but luck is more important. When I first participated in the chivalry trials, I was also a rookie. However, in the chivalry trials, I improved a lot and my mind was sharpened. I'm thinking that the Genius Zone probably doesn't only value strength, but also luck. Yes, little brother Xiao Han is right. Luo Tianyu nodded repeatedly. Maybe it's really luck. Brother Xiao, think about it. In terms of strength, Na Rong's plane is many times stronger than ours. However, it still fell at little brother Xiao Han's hands. On the other hand, our plane is advancing triumphantly, heading for the Genius Zone. This is also a kind of luck. Of course this luck is all because of little brother Xiao Han. When we enter the Genius Zone, I'm afraid we'll still have to rely on little brother Xiao Han. With that said, Xiao Mingqiu's state of mind became slightly more cheerful. Soon after, Xiao Mingqiu smiled in a carefree manner. I was worrying too much. How should he put it? Even if he could witness the elegant demeanor of those extraordinary people from other planes, this trip would not have been in vain. Immortal weapons and immortal treasures just go with the flow. Junior brother Xiao Han, on the other hand, I'm very optimistic about you. Maybe you can get a share of immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Me? Xiao Han was speechless. That's right, little brother Xiao Han, you're a heaven-defying person. I'm also optimistic about you. Luo Tianyu also said seriously. No. Xiao Han shook his head repeatedly. I'm not belittling myself. I'm really nothing. Thinking about it, there were at least 1,000 springboards that could transport them to immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's lair. Any one of these space springboards could be used by dozens of planes. On average, there are a few hundred people in each plane. How many people would there be when there are thousands of planes with space springboards? Xiao Han's question stunned Xiao Mingqiu and Luo Tianyu. At this time, one of the 5 slaves flying respectfully behind Xiao Han said in a well-behaved manner. At least millions of people of the right age will enter the Genius Zone. Maybe tens of millions of people are possible. Hiss. Xiao Mingqiu and the others gasped and felt their scalps go numb. When Xiao Han heard this number, he also stuck out his tongue. Millions? Tens of millions? TSK, it's really unprecedented, it's really spectacular. Forward. The chivalrous men from more than a dozen planes flew to the nearest space gangplank in a hurry. There was no longer any danger that could hinder them along the way. Even the sporadic hallucinatory magic land no longer appeared. It was completely a smooth road for Zhuang Kang. After a few moments, Xiao Han's spiritual force radiated outwards, and very quickly he discovered a floating meteorite in the void. This meteorite was about hundreds of miles long and wide. It was very huge. After scanning with his spiritual power, Xiao Han found that there were densely packed humans on the meteorite. Moreover, there was a strong wave of immortal qi on the meteorite, as well as the wave of teleportation that could reverse the void. Space springboard. Xiao Han blurted out. What? Junior brother Xiao Han, your spiritual power sensed the space springboard? Xiao Mingqiu and Luo Tianyu were shocked. Yes, we're almost there. Xiao Han nodded heavily. Get ready. We're almost there. We're finally here. Xiao Mingqiu and Luo Tianyu couldn't help but murmur excitedly. After a long journey of hundreds of days, we're finally here. Ah, it's not a waste. It's 265 days. Xiao Mingqiu took a deep breath. There are 23 days left until the Genius Zone opens. Xiao Han also narrowed his eyes. At the same time, the heroes flying in front of Xiao Han and the others burst into thunderous cheers. The atmosphere became heated. Some of the nosy heroes even whistled. Everyone has already found the location of the space springboard. Xiao Han understood. At this time, the pagoda master said loudly. Everyone pay attention. We're about to reach the space springboard. Be alert. We're here. We're here. The 12 elders and the heroes cheered as if a heavy burden had been lifted from their shoulders. Half an hour later, finally, in the direction where everyone was flying, a huge meteorite appeared in front of them. Rather than calling it a meteorite, it would be better to call it a floating continent. Its length and width could be hundreds of miles. The enormous meteorite was fixed in place by a strange force. It didn't move an inch. At this moment, on the meteorite, there were densely packed heroes surging. Moreover, rays of immortal light rose from the dense mist and colorful light beams shot up to the sky. The characters were like fish and dragons, rising and falling in spirals. Space springboard. Xiao Han's spiritual power swept out and carefully observed. Oh. It turns out that in the middle of this meteorite, there is a huge and great space teleportation array. There is a spatial coordinate recorded on it. As long as enough supreme-grade true Qi spirit stones are placed at the eye of the array as energy, then the heroes standing in the array can be teleported directly to the lair of immortal Emperor Ju Dao. Well, the structure of this space springboard is also very simple. However, ordinary mortals, even in the realm of half-immortals, can't carve out such a huge space teleportation array. It's most likely a temporary array specially made by the immortals for this exploration of the Genius Zone. How generous! Now Xiao Han's heart was also clear at a glance. The chivalrous men from more than a dozen planes arrived and surrounded the meteorite. Land on the space springboard. Step on the space springboard and teleport. Ah, the Genius Zone, we're here. Ah, my children. It's time to serve the planes. There are 23 days left until the opening of the Genius Zone. We'll arrive in the blink of an eye. Ah, let's go and teleport. The people from the dozen or so planes were all excited and couldn't hold back their excitement, so they went crazy. The Tower Master of Xiao Han's dimension also subconsciously rubbed some of the top-grade storage rings on his fingers as he said in a cold voice. I've prepared enough top-grade spirit stones for the teleportation. Everyone get ready. At this moment even I'm excited. Even my soul seems to be trembling. Right at this moment, Xiao. From the space gangplank, a brown-skinned, black-eyed, short-haired old man came flying out. His aura was smooth and flawless, making it impossible to tell his cultivation level. However, there was a faint mark between his eyebrows, which revealed the foundation of his half-immortal body. A godly aura emanated from his body. Xiao Han's spirit looked at the brown-skinned old man and felt that he was like an abyss, with no end in sight. Looking at him for a long time, one's spirit would be lost. A powerful person. Not much weaker than Rome. He must be at the Tower Lord level. Xiao Han quickly assessed. Brown-skinned? Yes, the chivalrous heroes of various dimensions that had appeared now, although they were all humans and their appearances were almost the same, there were still some subtle differences. For example, the humans from Xiao Han's plane were usually yellow-skinned, black-haired, and black-eyed. But now, when Xiao Han saw humans from other planes, there were dark-skinned black people, brown-skinned people, Caucasians. Some of them had azure blue eyes. Some had flaxen hair. The brown-skinned old man, suspected to be at the Tower Lord level, let out a friendly laugh. Ha! Hello everyone. Heroes from the various planes, I'm glad to see you here. Ah! Although we come from different planes of existence, we have one thing in common. We are all humans. After pausing for a while, the reddish-skinned old man laughed heartily. I've brought my children from my own plane to this space springboard for the teleportation. However, I arrived a day earlier than you. Yes, I and my subordinates arrived yesterday. Now, I'm about to teleport to Judao Immortal Emperor's lair with my men. There are some things that I'd like to tell you out of enthusiasm. Oh? The monsters surrounding the space gangplank were all stunned. Following that, a few powerful pagoda lords spoke in unison to the reddish-skinned old man. Friend, what do you want to tell us? The brown-skinned old man smiled. It's nothing important. Just listen to it. The exact coordinates of Judao Immortal Emperor's lair are engraved on the space springboard. Using top-grade True Chi Spirit Stones to teleport, the more people teleported, the more top-grade True Chi Spirit Stones would be consumed. The fewer people teleported, the less top-grade True Chi Spirit Stones would be consumed. The teleportation time was 15 days. Haha, such a long teleportation is rare. But thinking about it, if one were to rely on their own flying speed, it would take at least 10,000 years to reach Judao Immortal Emperor's lair. Now it's only 15 days. Ah. Alright, I suggest that we line up one plane at a time and teleport one by one. Although I reached this space springboard with my men yesterday, it's been a long time. Everyone don't be anxious. Teleport from plane to plane, there's still time. There's still time. If we all rush up to teleport, it'll be hard to avoid chaos. As soon as he said that, the chivalrous men surrounding the space gangplank all nodded in agreement. Alright, line up for teleportation. The weaker planes will line up at the back, the stronger ones will teleport first. A middle-aged man in iron armor with an aura as deep as the sea let out a rumbling voice. You're tuning in to the Han Lee's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.